Which I do want to emphasize, the only reason I think that even might remotely work isn't due to the good nature of a dryad, but, you know, Fae tend to be thin-skinned, and I could imagine a captured Fae going, "I'm going to burn this motherfucker to the ground."
No, that's Fabian. I don't see Faye holding grudges over nothing. But
I wouldn't even call that nothing.
but yeah. So, anyways, you guys are all on the ship, and it is sailing. Well, this time back the way you came from. And quickly I won't say ruined, but bruised and battered city, or at least large town of Biapokol, shrinking behind you. And after about 2 hours, it's clear that you've gotten out of Biapo territory without pursuit. Probably because once again this was all a little surprising to them. It did happen quite quickly. Um, your allies look a bit relieved, since even with the power and size of your Riptider, you're kind of dramatically undermanned if it actually came to any boarding action. But yeah, you guys seem to have made good on your escape. Let me think here. I don't need that. I need. Oh, here it is. I'll just put it right here. Right here. So you guys have traveled 28 miles. Travel thing about here. So yeah, you guys, last time you were kind of divvying up the magic items, taking the time to figure out what's what, and I don't remember who got what. Yeah, what. I don't remember who got that, but I think the wand went to the only person who could actually use it, which was the Templar. Um, and the rings, I don't know who wanted the rings or in what capacity, but they are
I
available.
think
What?
I took the ring.
No, there was two. There
There's
was ring of
also
poison resistance and a ring of mind shielding.
I took the mind shielding.
Okay. Well, do you attune to it or put it on or anything like that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You hear a confused voice as you do so, echoing out from the ring. Familiar. No? Who are you? What is this? I demand you contact Kuopomni Niken and restore me to my proper form.
Kua Povni Reform. All right. Can I only write that name down, please?
He basically said Pope X. Like that's the Kuopom is Flame Guardian or Flame Guide. That's their Pope and the one in charge of the city state. Um, but yeah, he's you cannot turn off that voice, and he is shrill and very insistent that you listen to him and do what he says.
Good thing I'm a monk. I'm a master of tuning shit out.
That is good, because his soul is in there, and he will continue to harangue you. He's got nothing else to do. He's a formless soul.
Doesn't even have to breathe.
He's a traitor to
Exactly.
his people for indulging in necromancy.
This is one of those fine line things. Probably not actually necromancy. Like it's he with high enough rank he could get away with it. But now if you were to give it like give the ring to an actual necromancer, yeah, that would be considered not haram, but yeah, as
Halal.
it is, yeah, as it
Wait,
is,
halal's
he's
good. Haram's bad.
yeah, yeah. Well, one of those. Um, but regardless, yeah, you now have a helpful voice in your ear, um, as well as the effects, and you also had the ring of poison resistance for whoever took that.
yeah. Ludger is confident in his own constitution, and he doesn't seem to want it for some reason. So,
Yeah, yeah, the Carnathi don't mind poisons.
but anyone, clearly someone with such a grand mustache, uh, is a hardy person who doesn't need to worry about such things.
Yeah, she
My
filters poison.
whiskers filter poison. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly, Sam.
Yeah.
My whiskers filter poison.
That's why dwarves have it. Yeah, I mean,
Yep. That's right.
but
You've never seen a beardless dwarf that's good at resisting poison, have you?
I've never seen a beardless dwarf.
I
So
have
you're
seen
right.
beardless dwarf.
They're
The,
quite common in Eberron.
Well, that too, but also the Giga Chad of the Dragon Age series. Very.
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And of course, you have a beardless dwarf from Ball Buddies universe.
We don't talk about him. All right, so yeah, but other than that, you guys are on a leisurely riverboat cruise.
Riverboat gambling.
What do you want to do once you head up river?
Don't go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Purser's just passed out in a corner
Yeah,
somewhere.
like we are exhausted of spell slots and stamina.
I have
Okay.
one spell slot left.
Then, all right, then I failed as a DM. All right, so, but yeah, the river, the trip along the river sees no real resistance, although you'll need to dock at Pikirkul or somewhere nearby it as the ship slowly starts to lose energy. Just it can only go so far per day. Do you guys want to try the clan hold of the Pikir, or do you want to just like try and find pleasant reeds to hide in?
Do we know anything about Pakirko?
You
A
do,
little
yeah.
bit.
Yep.
We know that basically they were kind of the guys that dealt with like the tribals and both good and bad before like the social order shit kind of fell apart.
Okay.
Like they were the ones that either traded with them or like led the effort on raiding them. And as a bit like you kind of see something of a lot of tribal influence amongst them. They tend to be kind of seen as like the backwater, like barely even civilized amongst the Everdrow.
Sounds like my kind of people.
But they're also the ones that like do the most like Geneva suggestions against the tribal drow. So they're it's complicated.
Again, sounds like my kind of people. All right.
Thank
We
you,
can give it a
Scott.
shot.
Yeah, that's a very good thing of it. Also, they're technically a lesser clan under Gwynedd, and have kind of they just follow Gwyned's lead. Like they really they have like a lot of the lesser clans. They just kind of go the way the greater clan does.
Well, there's places to move up in the world, and that one of the big clans has got collapsed.
Yeah,
I doubt we did anywhere near
We
that
gave them a
much.
bloody nose and we humiliated them, but there's a difference between being humiliated and being actually grievously wounded.
Humiliation, I think, in this society is very important.
it's
Is
certainly
it?
not
Oh.
good for them. It's certainly like they probably just lost their they were really pushing to like become a new greater clan, and like that'll be harder for them, that's for sure. But yeah, they're not ruined or anything. They're
Yeah.
the main financial clan within
Give it
Alan
time.
Space.
Give it time.
Yeah,
Oh,
who
good.
knows?
Yeah, but at most we did a setback. If we want to actually hurt them, we would have to come back and finish the job.
We do have one significant advantage in this, in that we're not elves. We don't do the 100-year plans. They might not expect us to come back and finish the job.
But you are correct.
Yeah, that is a factor.
You are correct, though. This is merely a setback, just like Tempest Keep.
There you go. But yeah, so it sounds like you guys are okay with docking at Pikirkul for the moment, or for at least until the ship regains a charge.
I'm fine
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely be on guard, but
I mean, you don't even need to leave the ship. Like as I previously mentioned, when you guys went through it before, Pick Cull is definitely unique among the different clan holds, at least the ones you've seen so far, in that it's the whole place is suspended, like a lot of the um, tribal, like the Scorpion tribes tend to do for their settlements. But it's suspended not on Shambu poles. It's instead suspended on like uh, stone
Masonry.
pillars that are built. Yeah, like actual stone pillars. So it's kind of a weird combo of both, but it means they have a pretty sizable dock because you can basically dock under the place if you want. Not recommended, but you can. So your ship can actually fit in their, sort of dock situation, which is
Excuse me.
lucky. No problem. And yeah, it's the fee is the equivalent of 6 coppers, we'll say. Docking fee.
I would pay for it, but I never had money to begin with.
You
I'll
had
give
money.
him-
I don't remember how much.
I'll give him 3 gold just so he can say, "Welcome to Port Royal, Mr. Smith."
Yeah, they wouldn't say that, but they would
Well,
say,
you get my point.
yeah.
Uh,
That definitely gets
at
you
this
some
point,
looks, but yeah.
well, I mean, I imagine it's the classic case of like bribing the dock official is practically like
That is
an
the fee.
obligation.
No, that is literally the 6 coppers. It's just the bribe. They don't distinguish the difference. It's
Oh,
there's no distinguishing. So yeah, if six gold, like yeah, they'll have people watch it for you. They like that. And Bemi, you like assuming you're not disguised anymore. You don't stand out as much here. There are a lot of people who um clearly either former or at least have some ties to the Scorpion tribes. So yeah, it's not nearly as much of you could walk around here without drawing undue attention. You didn't draw like pointing on the street like the humans did in Biapokol, but you did get side-eyed a couple times because you clearly weren't Sulatar, and that
right.
puts you firm. They don't have a category for other if you're a drow. You're either like Sulatar or barbarian. But here they don't seem to care.
Okay.
You either use butter or use olive oil, like civilized people.
Yeah,
Fuck out of
it's
here!
that
Don't you
vibe.
take that back! You take that back!
You use
Uh,
lard? What are you, a fucking barbarian?
Yeah,
I say this as someone who proudly identifies as a butter-using barbarian.
that's right. I was about to say. I was like, man.
I'm an olive oil using an Italian, so yeah, you know.
Well, you know
Ah.
what? You know what the 3 secret ingredients are into French cooking? It's butter,
Butter.
and butter.
Yeah. I just whole stick of butter.
Right.
But
I'm pretty sure,
one
like,
moment.
isn't arrogance one of those?
That is the 4th secret ingredient.
Well, it's not really a secret.
But it is an ingredient.
It's implied that you should know it by default.
Anyway,
Tangents. Okay.
yep.
Sorry about that.
Tab?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had a work call.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, they lost something, but they found it. Anyways, so yeah, you guys, do you want to look around town, so to speak, or are you cool just hanging out on the ship?
Purser's just gonna stay on the ship.
That is fair. Anybody else?
Pick is alternating between bothering Purser when he's not sleepy and catching up with the other direct person of her species. Because she's just excited to have somebody that's her species.
Okay.
I'm having a philosophical conversation with my friend in the ring.
Mostly involves him demanding things of you and insulting you.
Bemmy will go out on a
You're
food
demanding
run.
insulting a monk. You could have like picked the worst person to like try to demand things from.
He doesn't have a choice, but yes, Bemmy, a food run. There is ample street food here, although it's more like platform food because like all the houses and buildings have platform with bridges going between them and such. But
Okay.
yeah, there's it's actually pretty good here. It's like a mix of the uh, we'll say large invertebrates that are common in a lot of Volkori cuisine with Sulatar spices added. So it's very spicy. Think like mix of crab and lobster, with a little more crunch. But
So,
yeah, big bugs.
yeah, like crawdads,
Well, yeah, I like crawdads, but
but
I was
like
bigger.
gonna
you
say
kind of have to pry it
I
apart more.
remember
All right.
I remember when we talked to the one person a while ago that they were showing off spices the way to show off their wealth. I think wasn't it like cinnamon and like other kind of stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they have like cinnamon flavored. It's kind of like a pudding. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. The street food thing here is definitely strong, even though it's very small by Corvair standards. But hey, you're not bound by those standards, so
Nope,
it's
never
it's
have
a
been.
big place, and you can get fancy things here. Just give them those shiny bits, and they give you food. It's wild.
Yep.
Um,
So, I
Uh,
mean, I'd want to get enough for everybody who's staying on the boat. I know Purser's
ah,
tired, and the last time I gave him seafood, he was laying on his little magical tower stone floor getting fanned by his invisible servant.
that's fair.
um, I
Yeah.
would have accompanied Emmy,
That's probably
and
wise.
w- while I'm with him, I am also in the look for. I'm trying to find a particularly nice looking and fragrant flower, or a couple of flowers, and I am also looking for either an ingredient or a spice that would be fairly uh like storable or potable.
Okay.
Uh Not a huge amount. I'm basically trying to find you know, a gift to bring back to Hala.
Okay. Well, orchids are the common thing you see people, just raising in, windows and things like that. It's not hard for you to find somebody willing to sell you an orchid for like, I don't know, 2 copper. Um,
Yeah.
and
Um
as far as
yeah.
spices, cinnamon and what's the other one? I did have a thing, but I don't remember what it was. One sec, let me look it up. Uh,
Did you say that they might have had vanilla beans and
Yes,
be
there we
applicable?
go. Thank you. Cinnamon, vanilla beans, and I'll actually look. I did write this down under island stuff. Products, climate, season, blah 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 blah. Try green, etiquette. Here we go. Other goods. Grains and fruits. Yeah. So here they'll have yeah, black pods, aka vanilla.
Oh, that was a vanilla.
Yeah. They have date wine, which is the common thing, a wine made from dates.
Ooh.
Olives. Oh, there we go. That was they have like actual spicy chili type paste made with tomatoes, which they have. So yeah. So yeah,
Right, in that
it's
case,
largely spices. Not a lot of subtlety to it. It's just hot.
I think I'll get the date wine, like a
Yeah,
nice bottle of that.
I'm right there with you,
Uh,
pal.
well, yeah, I'm going. In fact, I'm going to get 2 bottles, one to share with my party comrades, one to bring home to Hala.
Okay.
Uh, I'll get the orchid. Specifically, I'm looking for a flower that would crust well because I'm
Okay.
planning. pressing a flower to include with a written uh bit of prose and poetry to give the holla upon my return.
You have to explain the
And
concept to them, but like that is not a tradition known here, but they'll take a guess and sell you a red one because they, like me, are quite ignorant in the methods of pressing flowers. So there you go, a red
I mean,
orchid.
honestly, the whole thing with pressing flowers is like just something that like actually can get pressed in a book fairly well. Uh,
There you go.
in any case, yeah, I do all that, and to cap it all off, I am looking for basically something of a knickknack for yeah, my two kids.
Okay. It's not like I wouldn't say there's an actual child culture here just because they space their kids apart, but you do spot like tinkering is definitely a thing here. It's actually surprisingly high status because it's following the ways of the ancients. So you could easily get a little pullable I guess in this case it would be a pullable like uh bronze dragon, like that as you pull it on a little rope, the arms move and the wings flap up and down, and the mouth puffs out little bits of smoke.
I will buy that then.
Okay, 2 silver.
Okay. Um, yeah, I'm fairly generous. I throw in, I think I would do 3 silver for the toy, just to like
Okay.
pay a little bit extra. And similar thing with like I'd pay about 50% more for all the goods I've acquired.
Okay, okay. Are you still in disguise, or are you going for like you don't need a disguise anymore?
Yeah, I'm looking like Ludger again.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, like you're very weird. Spending that much marks you out as probably higher class, so they're fairly courteous to you. Having Bemi with you, these things are like, well, I don't really know what to make of you, but at the same time, they're not hostile in any way, and they're actually spending that much. They're actually quite happy to show you other products, things like that. Not necessarily things you want, but they're very accommodating if you're willing to overspend. Um, like the money's part of it, but also doing that marks you out. Hey, this person, maybe in his land he's some kind of noble, so that's what they're basing it off of. Very class conscious, I would say, is my estimate on the Sulitar.
yeah. Yeah. Other than that, I just help Bemi out as much as I can.
Um, yeah, and Bemi, you have let's see, I feel like they would just be in clay pots. That would be the thing for the equivalent for takeout for cheap street food is little clay pots. And yeah, so you have like several pots worth of street food, which actually smells quite good. And yeah, and is there anything else you guys
Um,
want to get?
I mean, we got the date wine, we got the food.
Hmm.
Everybody else was hanging out on the ship. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back with what I got.
Okay, yeah. You head back, and uh, the food is a hit. And well, I can't say for the party, but I will say for any hangers-on you're willing to share it with, the food's a hit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and pick hanging out with the little fellow moth person. I have his name somewhere here.
I do
That
too. Where? Oh,
chance. Oh, here we go. It would be under. It's not under other. This is a Thrycreen. Here we go. Oh no, it's female. I'm sorry.
Shell
Uh,
Keeley.
yep, Chalkeely. I just found it. She's actually, I won't say middle aged, but she's definitely older. Um, she's she tells you she was originally a captured slave who was freed when she was purchased by the brothel, um, almost a full year ago.
Oh,
which is not super long, but that's a while.
Well, our
And
lifespan's a lot shorter.
yeah, well, that's a factor. But yeah, she surprisingly like she seems to think it was fairly wasn't that bad there. Just because she never actually had to sleep with anyone. It was almost all it was kind of niche services, so they pretty much would hire her to like act as a stuffed animal, like or to baby. It was very
But oh,
definitely fetish territory, but um,
She's like, it's weird. They just wanted to pet me and
yeah, that
take care of me and feed me.
it was weird, but considering it could have been worse. But
One could do
yeah,
with their life.
and Purser, the deck of the ship remains cold, hard, and very comfortable, given how exhausted I'm sure you are.
Yeah, like take off my coat, and use it as a blanket, and like rest my head on my backpack.
I will.
Oh,
Is that
dude.
is the date wine going to be shared or only the one bottle?
We got one bottle that I believe we'll share.
I'm just waiting on the wine bottle and just I guess not in a short rest just yet. So, but sitting there having a.
Time for a short rest has gone by. Yep.
All right. I'll just wait for the long rest, but yeah,
Yeah, not long rest
Oh,
yet.
shit.
Definitely short rest. But you guys, Doc and the I'm assuming you're going to switch back to a day schedule, or like how do you want to continue going? Because it's kind of where is the thing here? Um, it's yeah, it's afternoon. I'd say by the time you get there, it's late it's getting into evening. So actually, you could if you all wanted to sleep, you could like switch back to a day schedule. Probably not welcome news to Bemmy, but you hit
Have
that place
we?
in the middle of the night for them, so that means you can actually kind of go on a normal schedule now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do have my goggles of day walking now, so it's less crappy.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Well, yeah, if you guys spend some time resting up, just feeling better. Let's see here. Yeah, do you want to post guards or just gonna leave that to the various captured slaves or well, excuse me, freed slaves? Um, what do you want to do for
we
security on the
should
ship?
we should have a guard.
Okay. So usual thing in that
Um,
case. Yep.
I will take now. I know I only have to like do like a little meditation for significantly less time, so
Yeah,
I
4 hours.
got no problem taking 2 shifts.
Okay. So the last two shifts probably after you get the 4 hours because it's 2 hour shifts. So
Yep,
um,
sounds good.
and Luger only needs a bit of a cap nap as well, so
yeah, I think
he
yours
can.
is 6 or 4. I think yours is 6. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's only 4.
Okay.
On the
Um,
topic of catnaps, I'll have Pearl just like prowling around the boat, keeping an eye on things to assist
Yeah.
whoever's on watch.
it is 6
Whoever.
hours.
Okay. Cool. But yeah. So who wants first and second watch, and then Bimmy will have third and fourth.
Luger will take first.
Okay. Fair enough.
Pick'll take whatever.
Okay.
She
So
don't
first,
sleep either.
second. Yeah. Yeah. First, second, and then Bimmy. Gotcha. Okay, so on your first watch, go ahead and give me a perception check as the sun very slowly begins to set. Okay. With an 18, it's interesting because while they do have docks, your ship is large enough that it's basically most of it is just under the settlement, so to speak, which they have nets strung up under, going from pillar to pillar especially for the closer buildings. Um, and like the nets catch most, trash or nobody. You don't see anyone fall, but presumably someone does occasionally. But you actually see some local wildlife, the lizard, the bugs, and the various things that eat the bugs. Other bugs, lizards, things like that, scurrying along the nets, and just it's interesting that there's sort of a mini ecosystem above you over the water here. But other than that, fireflies come out. It doesn't rain, which is nice. And yeah, your watch goes uneventfully.
Okay. If I remember, Peck is next. So when I wake her up, I definitely tell her about the lizards and bugs because I know that's the sort of thing that she finds interesting. So
Okay.
And
She's
this is
excited.
one person watch.
Yeah, one person. Well,
Alright.
one person with. Oh, I'm sorry. You had advantage with the 24 because there's a cat helping. Uh, but it
To
doesn't
be
really
fair, the
change
cat's
order.
not super interested in lizards and bugs. He's just on the eye for danger.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, I guess it's not a real cat.
that sounds
But
like the. I was about to say that does not sound like a fucking cat at all.
She's interested in what Purser's interested in,
right.
which is not lizards and bugs.
But
Well,
regardless,
he did
pick.
say fireflies are out, so maybe
Yeah,
maybe that.
yeah, lots of fire. But pick, it is your turn for watch. So, all right, with a 13.
Boy, am I interested in those lizard and bugs.
I think realistically, you're probably really focused. Like, feel free to correct me, but I think Pick's probably very interested in the lizards and the like the town above you is really coming to life. Fluttering up, looking along the walkways and stuff. You just see lots of drow doing things. A surprising number actually like climb down to water level where they have canoes and just other small rafts and go out what looks like hunting. That seems to be a strong lifestyle pastime. Hard to tell, but yeah, it's just the place really comes alive at night. This time of night especially.
It's just exciting to people
It
watch
is.
and
Yeah, there's
bug
all these
watch.
lights that they have. They're chattering, and there's these bugs and insects. It's a bit distracting. Uh,
Pretty
but
fireflies.
yeah, nothing happens though. But it's nice that no one's trying to kill you at the moment, that you can tell.
That is nice.
And then time rolls around, and it's probably Bemi at this point is probably stretching and getting up on his own.
Yeah.
She'll
They're about-
enthusiastically tell him about all the cool bugs she saw and lizards people were doing.
People were
Oh,
doing
bugging.
people things, and
People doing people things. There's fireflies. Now there's bugs and lizards. Okay. Where's the kitty cat?
Over there.
Over there. Okay. Want some scritches and scratches, Boyle? Get over here. Let's look for stuff.
I feel like where was it? I think it was the description in like the first Harry Potter book of the one professor who could turn into a cat, where she's just like the most uncat-like cat ever, sitting like back ramrod straight on the porch or something, ignoring people trying to get their attention and just kind of glaring at them when they try to do cat things. Like, I feel like that's probably Pearl's demeanor. Like, stop distracting me.
Professor McGonagall.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, she was the animagus.
Yes, yes, yes.
Unfortunately, her actress passed away, Maggie
Yeah.
Smith.
Yep.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's
Yeah, it
I'm
just
never
happened
aware
like
of
the
these
other day.
things. Oh, okay. Well, then it was an accidental, sort of timely reference. I don't know what that would count as. But yeah, you have the aid of your cat friend if you wish to make a perception check. I just realized Pick did a persuasion roll, but that's okay.
they both start with
Oh,
P.
crap.
It's alright.
Persuading the cat.
That's probably better.
On the topic of cat friends, Freya is currently standing on my back because I forgot to feed her third breakfast.
Third
Well,
breakfast.
you'll learn these things. Yeah. Gonna
She's
learn
an angry
today.
cat.
Jeez. Okay, everybody's quitting. Well, I mean,
That
after.
that does not bode well.
Hey, you know
No.
what? Take the success. Uh, because I mean, it's not like you needed them last time. You guys were doing just
No,
fine.
are you gonna make me roll a second time?
You know, you did. That's how you got the crit.
Oh,
But,
okay.
uh, but yeah, you actually notice with that level that a lot of the people doing people things, as Pick pointed out, um, seem to be like probably clan warriors because like their armor's a little bit better. They just carry themselves a little bit more adequately as they go down and head out into the swamps. So maybe they're some kind of big hunt, something like that, or who knows. Um, your ship definitely gets a lot of looks as they come down, but presumably they were warned about it. Like you went by once already and it got some looks, but presumably they were warned about it from uh, uh, Lord Gwened. He probably sent something to them. So while they're definitely keeping an eye on the obscenely big warship, or at least from their perspective, warship, they're not like going nuts over it. So. But yeah, it seems like there's some type of mass hunt or maybe skirmishing action or something. But yeah,
Okay.
nothing else of note as the sun begins to rise.
Yep. Reaching in my pocket, pulling out my goggles, going, well, that was nice while it lasted. Next time for everybody to get up. Paul, go wake up your daddy.
Yeah, I think she'd accept that.
Does she start making biscuits?
I mean, she just tell me. So yeah,
She
Pearl will just
could.
sit there staring at you, Bemmy. And then Purser will just like he's like rubbing his eyes and putting his coat on as he comes back like up on the top deck.
Yeah, I imagine with Ludger, it's a case of like whenever he rests, he just like finds a chair up on deck with a fairly good like view of the surrounding thing, and kind of just like kicks his feet up, lays, sits back and just like sits there for whenever he quote unquote
Menacingly.
takes a cat nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever he's taking a quote unquote cat nap,
Yeah.
uh, just resting his eyes for a little bit. And then
How is how is he staying that still? A fly landed on his face and just like crawled and he didn't react. I don't know. Also, the mosquitoes never bite him. It's bullshit.
it's the mustache.
Yeah, that's a
They,
good
they don't
answer.
like the scent. They don't like the scent of his mustache oil.
Yeah, that's got to be it. Uh, so, yeah, I assume you guys want to continue on towards Gwynedd Cull and officialize your alliance with an undoubtedly grateful lord there.
Yeah.
Mm,
I mean,
Oh.
grumble, grumble all you want, but
Okay. Well, yeah, you're able to get there. No problem. And there's a bit more unrest. Well, actually, I should probably ask: are you docking directly, or are you gonna do what you did before, where you like dock a ways back and walk in?
The latter seems more prudent.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, in that case, you guys go in. It only takes a minute this time for you to be allowed in. Um, there's none of the like having to check paperwork and um, really give you the fisheye. But yeah, you're able to get into the town of Gwenedd Cole, Clanhold rather. Um, and going right to the manor of the actual lords. May not be a sprawling compound like the Biapo clan's manor that you had to look at when you were considering where to kill that lord. But it's still quite stately, a massive refurbished giant building overlooking the lake. Um, you arrive to find High Lord Gwynedd in his laboratory again, coming out to greet you with some reluctance. Seems like he was busy, but he does come out and says after the customary exchange of titles and clan ranks, he has a slave bring him a bowl of water that he uses to wash his face as he speaks with you, probably to wake himself up. Seems like he's foregoing trancing, or he just got busy and didn't notice. And I assumed this, but I should probably ask: did you bring Lady Wayrub and Lord Olenquai with you?
That seems prudent.
I assumed so.
Yeah, no,
Since
I
they were
just
part of the assault.
figured I should ask. Yeah, like they are your official ties, although, now you'll be able to at least go here without them. But yeah, she, like, for her part, Lady Wayrub looks a bit offended at the fact that, like, this guy's showing up, the equivalent of showing up in a bathrobe. Like, he's not really paying much attention, but doesn't say anything. Now rubbing his face with a towel, Lord Gwynedd does say, I received word yesterday from the Irnix network that Lord Rajan Ir Biapo has tragically met his end in what was likely a failed slave rebellion, led by the gladiators of the Burning Chamber area, and aided by mysterious foreign agents.
Man, it's such a shame that happened. What a grand loss.
Those were my concepts exactly. But with his death, the damage to the Biapo clan's fleet, and those trumpet bloom flowers, you fulfilled all the tasks that I expect with any immediacy. I'm willing to ally with your clans and your uh, sire. You did say you had nobles who ran things, yes?
Purser will just nod.
Ah, wonderful. How do you you follow along with whatever your custom is. And 3 clan lords conjure 4 orbs of light, each one a different pattern of colors, before reciting what seems to be some kind of oath. That follows Gwynedd, Wayrub, or Olenquai, do hereby swear upon our place within the promised flame and honor as nobles that we will join as allies in war and peace. Your feud is our feud, our strength your strength, until the reborn world brings salvation. And if you guys want to just kind of like mutely nod along, if you want to add your own Code of Galifar thing, like however you want to indicate, it could just be we just sign on the dotted line. But yeah, that's
Bemi
kind of their thing.
Bemi probably spaces out a couple of times.
I assume
Uh,
that, yeah.
like he might try to pay attention for like a little bit, but just like end up like looking at something that's like some peeling wallpaper, being like, man, why is that peeling wallpaper? Like, is that from water damage? Just miles away until Purser or someone says, Bemi, here, take the quill, sign. Oh yeah, okay.
I'd like to think it's Ludger, considering he's trying to
Yep, there you go.
somewhat take Bemmy under his wing.
Yeah, I think
After the whole the obviously it didn't come to fruit, but the his attempt to help him woo Sotalis.
Yep. I have a quick question about the ring before I sign.
Yes.
What's his name? Biapo fuckface. Can he like see what I'm doing, or you just know someone's there?
He can't see it, like I'm gonna say he doesn't share senses. He just like can communicate with you telepathically. That's all it says. So he's not sharing senses. He's just like,
And can he
talking
hear?
at you.
Okay. And I need to, like, physically, like, talk in my mind to speak to him, right?
Yeah. Like, you don't need to say anything aloud. It's just as you communicate with him, those things happen. So yeah, like he
Just making
can't hear
sure.
anything you don't say. So
All right, just making sure in case he heard. Oh man, it's a shame that the Apo died. Man, what a shame. I just want to make sure if he heard that or not.
he did not, unless you
All right.
unless you were an ass and said it to his like
Well,
repeated it for his sake.
Well, he's been rude to me.
He's incredibly like rude is understating it. Yeah.
Yeah, I may repeat that, but mentally, and when I say it out to him.
Yeah, that does not endear you to him.
Well, maybe he should have been nicer to me.
Hey, that's a
Just
hard
remind
sell.
maybe. There's a possibility that we may want to like pawn off his captured soul to one of our allies because they might either find that funny or see it as a good source of information.
I was gonna say if we keep it for information ourselves, I say pawn it off as a gesture of goodwill.
Well, I mean, how old is he?
I don't know.
I actually have that. One sec.
I will not tolerate such a defilement.
I mean, it's still a poison. They
He
just
defiled his own soul by doing this.
I mean,
And
he's
he
still,
deserves what he got, but no more.
but
As soon
he's
as we
still
find a way to expunge him, we will.
okay. That's fine. But I mean, in the meantime, I mean, who you think else he has to talk to?
He's
I know it
511.
is. He's 511 years old. Yeah, he's older than I am.
Yes. That is an objective truth, Debbie.
Only facts come out of this mouth.
But yeah, it's fine. Like I said, if you guys don't have anything to add, no problem. They swear that, and if you guys just thumbs up, you could claim a lot of shit for what your customs are, and yeah, with that, you guys are officially allied with the Gwynedd clan, and through them the Pickier clan, and technically the Biapo clan, who are still under the Gwynedd clan, but that's pretty theoretical at this point. But yeah, and with that, Lord Gwynedd rings the bell again, and drinks are brought. Let us drink to the occasion. After all, it isn't every night one joins in a proper alliance with such exotic foreigners.
Yep. And I'm gonna say whisper. Should I tell him about the ring? So this guy's getting annoying.
Yeah, I'll just give a subtle shake of the head.
On that note as well, should we tell them about the head?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the head. Yeah.
Oh
You guys-
okay. I brought something just in case the information didn't get here close enough. But I guess I could just throw away the head.
I beg pardon?
Uh,
As the wine's being poured.
No, I'll wait for the wine people to go away. Then I go back to that dialogue.
Okay, no, like
Yeah,
that was Lord
I
Gwynedd.
would diplomatically interject and say, my lord, you know, we don't want to insult your intelligence gathering capability, but we brought, shall we say, proof of our success in Biapical.
All right. By all means. What is
And
it?
I'm just
Physical proof, my lord.
Uh, Typically, that's
I
how it
just
works.
I
It's a
just
head in
slide
a bag.
and
It's a head in a
I'm just gonna
bag.
slide a hand to put the bag off and put it on Bemmy.
Okay, put it like balance it on Vemi's head, or just give it to him.
No,
Like,
just like it's like pull it like just put it on his like belt or something. So
Are you kidding me? He'd reach out like you're talking like we have something physical. He'd walk over, grab it, and be like, "It's a head in a bag."
Yes.
I
Bemmy,
just
at the
stand up and go
Ludger,
solid.
Ludger at the very least would prevent Bemmy from pulling the head out in this setting, but yes.
So interestingly enough, this is probably one of those rare occasions where like you prevent him as you know the Lord goes over with his wine glass in one hand and kind of peers into the bag, and like this is pretty disgusting. It's been in there for like a day plus. It is fragrant at this point, but he doesn't recoil or anything. He just has a kind of surprised little grin as he reaches in and pulls the head out by the hair. This is him. Excellent. I'm not sure what I can do with this. You know, there's probably some ideas, but thank you. This is good verification. Ugh, hasn't done much for his complexion. So he shakes the jowls a little bit. I'll just put you back in here. And
As you can tell, I think it was rather difficult bringing his head with us. So maybe there's a bonus involved.
The person would like slap Bemmy and
I was
take a
gonna
big
say
drink.
this is a weird moment where like both Purser and Ludger are acting in harmony of like stepping on his toe.
Just like
Just,
smack him on the back of the head.
And
Alright, and then
Alvazar is just going silent. Like he's shutting down. That's his response.
he's just gonna go, okay. He grabs a glass of wine and goes back to looking at that wallpaper that's
And
Pick
yeah,
Pick is
fine.
happily crouched like a gremlin on some piece of fancy furniture,
I just go to him and
drinking
say, "Yeah,
her
you study.
drink.
Yeah, you study that wallpaper. You tell us exactly what year it was made." And I'm just, all right, back to the conversation.
apologies, my
a
lord.
bone. No, it's no problem. I mean, you got a guide from the tribes clearly, and he's from the tribes. Um, I don't know something. What would uh arrows? We have some uh iron-headed arrows, but there we go. Um,
oh.
a dozen of them. Have at it.
Okay, he perks back up, goes about this. I think that wallpaper is about like maybe 10, 15 years old. Anyways, yeah, what about these arrowheads?
So, yes, arrowheads with iron. There you have it. Suitable reward. Yes. But
Yeah,
eh, he's
you got some
Gener-
arrows.
your generosity is unmatched, my lord.
oh, I know. But yeah, he like the only thing that your two drow companions ask for from him is to have one of his mages forward information via the Irnix network so that Mishann and its allies will be kept up to date on the news in Elm Cusp. And seeing
The what
probably some
network?
confused looks at that, they do explain that the clan that specializes in magical study above all else, the Irnix clan, they have a network of casters with sending who specialize in uh, basically acting as a news network. Important stuff gets sent along it regular, um, at least once a day. It's jotted down and handed out to people of import and anyone who wants to pay a small fee. So they're just asking to be kind of plugged back into the network because when they bolted and cut ties, they sort of cut ties with the network. But yeah, beyond that, after drinks and some more pleasantries, it's clear that Lord Gwynedd is eager to get back to his lab and hints that you're free to leave whenever, but not before pestering the party about when he can expect his first bit of alchemical research from Corover, and with some kind of translation.
Mm. What kind of turnaround do we have on like mail correspondence with Corvair?
Isn't it like once a
Once a
month?
month. Yep.
Okay, so within the next month. I mean, I can't say that, but
Yeah. If that's communicated, he seems delighted, and you guys move. Even a month is pretty quick to move on stuff. Like their sense of time is kind of fucked up. So, yeah, they're happy to. He's quite happy that he'll get something that quickly. And once again, just doesn't so much leave as just starts ignoring you guys. You're free to go. With
Yeah.
apparently terrible manners. Like the whole time as you leave, Lady Wayrub is just like gritting her teeth. But yeah, you're in the clan hold Gwynedd Cull. Is there anything you'd like to do here before you go? This is the place for
Um,
poisons and potions.
I do bring up to the party because I remember the Rena poison resistance was something of a hot potato where at the very least people were going like, well, I guess I could have it. That's fine, but I do bring up the alternative of selling it and then like divvying up a gold if no one's really committed to taking that ring.
Yeah, that's an option.
I would like to maybe buy some poisons because that we had that very useful bomb that we threw in to the bottom level of the tower and got people to get out.
Yep.
So I don't know how much things like that are, but
So
sleeping bombs, knockout bombs, or make them throw up, pretty much disable somebody in a confined space.
yeah. As far as that stuff goes, let's see. I will have to honestly look that up because it's the poison stuff for D&D.
Okay.
Let me see here. Poisons and potions. Here we go. See if they give me a proper list. It's not very helpful. Okay, here we go. So there's some fumes that you can subject to this poison must succeed. Character takes poison. That's just poison damage. This is a gas basically. This is inhaled, another gas. Becomes poison for 8 hours. Malice, inhaled, that's the one you had. That blinded people when they failed it. Yeah, so you're just looking for like bombs or something, something to throw on people.
Yeah,
Okay.
just kind of that malice was really good because, if we need to clear a room, it's or give ourselves an advantage in that exact situation, it was very nice to have at least one.
So a dose of malice, DC 15 con saving throw become poison for 1 hour. That is, let's see, one sec.
Oh, and maybe another potion of healing, depending on how much they are.
Potions of healing, if I remember correctly, were like 25 gold apiece. One sec. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's because it's half the standard price. Let me look it up, make sure I didn't already half it.
I have the stone claws of a siren. I think 6 of them. Can I sell those? This seems like the place that might be interested.
Probably. What are they exactly? Stone claws. Stone claws
We
of
got.
what?
It says
claws
stone
from the
claws
stone
from a
siren.
siren.
The stone siren.
Oh yeah. So just like salvage stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, here it is. Let me add the half in here. But yeah, a standard healing potion is 25 gold. And selling those from a pretty rare monster. Give me a persuasion check to basically haggle.
No.
You have a hard time really explaining what it is. So like they get it's a weird exotic foreign monster, but that
There's
doesn't
Pick strutting around on their little market stall thing with her fingers, like her hands and little claws making noises. They're like,
and
what
then
the
like
fuck?
and occasionally like jumping, ducking your head below the level of it to show, oh, it would do this. And like it makes
Yeah.
sense if yeah, it can phase into the ground, but otherwise that's just confusing. So
Is there any way I can make out what she's talking about just by playing this game of charades?
Give me a, you know what? Give me an insight check
All
because
right.
she did not do well. So
It's hey, I'm not gonna do well either, but I'd be like, all right, okay, so it walks on 4 legs.
I mean, hopefully, if nothing else, at least it's a cute display.
yeah, it's
14.
adorable.
Yeah, there you go.
You're not entirely sure what she's referencing, but you know, it sounds like something you guys have fought. Probably. You fight a lot of things. Um,
True. We do
and
fight a lot of things.
I'd say with that, you're able to get for all of them, say 70 gold. Seems reasonable.
We go. Calculator. D minus 25. With 45.
And
And then you said the other thing was how much?
for malice, I was in the process of looking at it is 125 gold for a dose of malice.
Too rich for my blood, but that's okay.
Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, so anything else you guys want to do?
Mm,
It's okay if the answer is nothing.
What about carving tools? Because I feel like she'll end up wanting to carve an emblem, like a religious
Okay.
emblem.
Yeah, sure.
Or perhaps find, like, not to take up more time, but like find whatever their equivalent to the silver flame is here. I think they call it
The Torch of Progress.
the Torch of Progress, and see if they have religious symbols of that around here.
It's not common around here, but
That's okay.
like looking around, this is a center of civilization, and like they've heard of it. There's probably like one local follower, and
Okay.
they're happy to provide you a free one if you show any interest, because they're always trying to find converts.
She'll take the freebie, but she'll also get the carving tools because she'll probably want to make her own anyway.
Okay, so like carpenter's tools
If there's wood
or
carving tools, I guess,
okay,
or
woodcarver's tools. Yeah, yeah.
jeweler's kit or something. I don't know.
One gold for woodcarver's tools.
Okay, she will get that.
Okay. And yeah, anything else?
you know what? I
Yes.
know I've had a kukri for the longest time, but I could use a knife.
Knife. All right. Yeah, fair enough.
A knife.
They.
Nice. It's not a knife. That's a spoon. All right, you. And I saw you played knifey spoony before.
Thank you. Uh,
Well,
yes. So they have knives of all flavor and variety available. Here I would say the specialty, a lot of these knives are like it's really easy to apply poison to. In fact, almost all the weapons seem to have a little divot to make it easier to apply poison to them.
do they have arrowheads?
They do. In fact, you have 10 free arrowheads, um, made of iron.
And I can put some really dirty things in them, huh?
You, you could are on them, but yeah, yeah.
Mm. How much?
For like standard knife or arrow price.
Oh. Well, the 10 arrows are fine, but yeah, it's just basically the tool knife. I'm not gonna
Okay.
kill anybody with it.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Okay. So if I feel like I want to say instinctively it's 4 gold, but let me look.
Okay.
Dagger 2 gold. Yeah, dur. Okay, so it is 2 gold for a good spoopy knife.
A good
Pick is
knife.
also going to get a spoopy knife if they're together, because once she sees they can put poison in it, she's like, "Ooh, neat."
Yeah, these are you know what, we'll say that these knives are very well designed for it, and a Gwynedd knife, like normally there isn't an official listed limit for you apply poison to something and then stab it. But if there was a theoretical limit where it's like, you know, this is an oil, it's going to slide off eventually, that's doubled. So you could apply it like the night before and then stab somebody, or 2 nights before, and it's not an issue because the knife is designed to hold that poison better. So there you have it.
But
Just so you know, there is a written limit, and it's 1 minute.
Nice. Okay, so there you go. It's doubled. So 2 minutes. Look at that.
Poisons are really weak in 5th edition.
I know.
oh,
It-
I was just trying to look at the stats of the other one. Sorry.
Honestly, I don't know why you couldn't just mix that with tree sap and make it more viscous.
Because then it wouldn't go in.
Yeah. One
Sure
of
would.
the best use of
Sure.
poison I've ever seen was combined with animate objects, where somebody just carried around like
Sure.
a dozen daggers and a
Didn't
dozen
Ash do
vials of
that?
purple. Yeah, a dozen vials of purple worm poison, and like soaked them
Like
in
50,
it.
50 fucking daggers and just chucked them all at some guy. Boss
Yeah,
him
just
off.
had them
Okay.
all
Constant purple
attack.
poison procs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
Ugh.
was ugly. I think she got away with it once before the DM was just like, no.
I think they started reducing the amounts you could find.
Yeah,
That's
which isn't easy. Yeah, he's like, yeah, shocker. In a
Sorry.
water world, not a lot of purple worms. But
Oh well.
anyways,
I'll fix
Yeah.
it later.
There should be
ye-
plenty of poisonous fish in the sea, though.
yeah, there are
Pufferfish.
No, none. You'd be surprised.
none.
Every
Really?
single one of them edible, I promise.
Now that's
We're
objectively true.
apparently in the waters around Iceland when it comes to like venomous fish or poisonous fish.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, you guys got some cool knives, you got some potions, you sold some stuff.
Is there a
Anything
standard
else?
price for a bundle of arrows?
There is, and I actually have it up. Let's see. Ranged weapons.
It's not like 1 or 2 silver pieces
Yeah,
normally.
it's not bad. Okay, here we go. Ammunition. Uh, that can't be right.
Let me look.
Means it might be wrong.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh no, that's for the weapon itself. Okay, I was like, that seems really fucking high. Like, no, it's not 50 gold. That's retarded. Let's see. Here we go. I'll just look it up.
Wizards really be hating on archer mains.
Yeah. Arrow. There we go.
That's 20
Yeah.
for 1 gold.
There we go.
all the
Yep.
yeah.
I just found it myself. Yeah, exactly that. 24 gold.
all the Fletchers are on strike.
That
You said
luckily,
20 what?
20
That's-
for 1 gold.
1 gold gets you 20.
Oh, okay.
And luckily, strikes are not a common thing in a slave-based economy. So, or at least slave-emphasized economy. They never quite industrialized or anything like that. Yeah. So with that, you've got arrows, you've got daggers, you've got sold goods, and a new alliance with a major clan that hasn't left its clan hold. Anything else?
Nothing for Purser.
Ludger just spends the time writing out a like a new letter slash thing of poems to give to Hala while everyone else is having fun in town.
Cool. Hey, you know what? That could be your fun. But yeah, so with that, you guys board the ship again and are able to head out. It takes another day and a half of travel across the lake and down the Belfour River before you reach Mishann. During that time, I'm going to say nothing eventful happens.
Nothing at all?
Nothing at all. Yeah. Well, one thing.
Nothing at all.
I was gonna say, cause I'm still looking for something.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it. That's coming. But that won't
Okay.
happen until you get to Mishann. So,
Okay.
but as you guys are coming up towards the settlement, as the sun goes below the horizon, kind of lights up the edge of the jungle, lighting up the edge of the jungle canopy. Uh, Lady Wayrub approaches your group. She's without Lord Onquai, who kind of acts as an advisor to her most of the time, as well as sort of playing the experienced, hardened warrior to help kind of rein in her more impulsive elements, we'll say. Apparently, he did that for her father when he was alive. But yeah, she comes up and says, just whoever's like immediately visible in the group, just says, "Excuse me, do you have a moment?"
Yes.
I just
Yeah,
wanted
Lucaroth.
to, yeah, I just wanted to thank your group in the aftermath of the plague and our breaking away from Alam Cusp. And the clans of Wayrub and Olenquai were in the worst position we've been in for centuries. Your efforts thus far have ensured we don't have to flee our homeland, and more than that, the Sulatar of the islands have a real chance at surviving if we're successful. Stopping the Verwick Pact will help us avoid the Durashk Hull and ensure we survive as a people. And yeah, she
Pick
just
sticks
seems
all
super
four of her
interested.
little arms up and is like, "Yeah, good."
Yeah, she just kind of nods solemnly at that, and you get like she has a strong impression of somebody who can't turn off the like diplomat element. Uh, it'll probably play off better when she's not in the equivalent of like 20. But yeah, the lights of the settlement are reflected in the waters of the river as your ship pulls into the small outcropping that serves as a natural harbor. Um, at least until the docks are finished in Mishann. But you guys have made it back. And now we're going to kind of do a bit of a downtime thing. It's about a 2-week time skip as everyone will be going to level 6. Um, now for multi-classing, let me do a thing real quick here just to save changes.
Oh, I'd like to add an addendum to mine as well now that I'll order some like alchemical textbooks and have them sent.
Oh, yeah, that's no problem. We'll say like 10 gold.
Okay.
Once you're back. Yeah, that's not a problem. Let's see. I'm just looking up real quick how to. There's a trick to multi-classing with this, where with Roll20 specifically, to make sure you don't accidentally add like, go from level 6 to level 8 because it added a level in both classes. I don't remember what it is though. One sec here. I'm gonna use Balthazar. I'm gonna use your old sheet for it. One sec.
My old one.
Yeah.
Yeah, always make sure I got to add the ring to my new character
I think
sheet.
you just have to make sure you don't like you check your base class to 0 and then add the other class.
Yep. That's okay. Here we go. Yep. Okay, that's exactly it. I just wanted to double check, like look at it, because I've had people accidentally level up twice. But yeah. So basically, you guys start leveling up, and we'll just, in no particular order, pick. Um, Now, was there anything? I never got an answer from either of you. Was there anything you guys wanted to do in character to go through Pix training with Purser, or was like, did you guys have something planned for that, or did you want me to do it? How did you want to do that?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it, but I mean, I don't feel like it's super necessary to go into it, but I can.
Yeah,
Okay. Sure.
I'm good either way. Whatever. He doesn't have to go for it. Or just a general guideline. I think we talked about the average of what their beliefs are and kind of agreed she might fall more along the attempting to convert the Irish to Catholicism, where you're like, you make it most of the way, call it pretty good. You get the basics.
Yeah, I get you over the first step. Contact the flame, channel a spark of its power, and then.
And hers is definitely more faith-based, like as cleric belief. Like, than Purser's structured approach in that way. She is much more like, I am very pleased with this light and the things it
Here's
represents.
here's the church. Here's who you need to kiss ass. Now going up a level. Here's the ass you need to kiss there. I want to get into the levels over that. Yeah, the
Um,
vaguely pyramid scam thing.
Oh, I don't
which
Yes.
know how to
rogue?
multi-class when leveling up.
Which rogue would I pick? SRD or Player's Handbook? What is the SRD?
I think it's a
Player's handbook.
stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, I think SRD is another like roll 20. It's our D20 based system that's like sci-fi shit. I've run into that problem in my own games in the past.
Player's
Player's
handbook.
Handbook is.
Let me look at Pick's thing here to see. Okay. Okay. So you don't need your level in rogue. We will.
No. I hit the button and then I was like, crap, no, I'm not doing that. I'm literally talking about it right now.
Okay, so we will go to cleric. 1 level in cleric. 0 level in rogue. Okay, and then average. And then by domain B lamp. Okay. And there we go. Now, if there's any mess up, it's entirely on me. Okay. But yeah, pick. As you first contact the light, you feel a strange sensation, as if something inside you seems to connect to a force different than anything you've ever experienced. It's a rush of light and warmth that flows through your entire body. For a moment, you can see, or more accurately, kind of perceive, something beyond the mundane matter of Eberron, a constantly moving web of silver fire that seems to coil around everyone and everything. For an instant, you think you can see some serpentine shapes within these coils, adorned with rainbow feathered wings before it becomes too much and you come back to Eberron. But you can feel the shining energy still within you, and you know how to draw it out to harm, heal, and even literally blind as needed. Although
Ooh,
who would be blinded by a light this wonderful? Uh, but
quite pleased.
yes, it is the lamp is always with you now.
Yeah.
And
Ludger,
also with you.
yeah. Ludger, you feel confident that you finally mastered your new body, so to speak. Your movement, reaction time, and strength all feel like they did before your death, but there's still something missing. You mentioned it offhand to some of your uh, Kampfengruppe. Probably butchered that. And they
Actually,
all,
that's pretty good actually.
oh, there you go. And they all know the feeling, having experienced it to different degrees themselves. One night, you're going over battle drills, and Rika Batcher suggests an impromptu shooting competition to loosen everyone up a bit. There are groans, but nobody really argues otherwise, since figuring out what to do with late nights has been a recurring issue for a lot of them. The lack of real sleep, while not an issue, is jarring. Um, Adra Duncanwald privately told you she's caught more than a few of them simply sitting in the quarters staring at the wall until the sun rose. Um, the competition isn't a simple one, uh, or is a simple one. Hit as many of the targets hung from trees at various ranges out away from Soldier's Rest, or what will be Soldier's Rest. It's still very much under construction. Um, Everyone competes, and fairly soon it's clear that this sort of thing is good for the troops, as you hear more enthusiasm in their voices than you've heard in some time. Unsurprisingly, it ends up being a match between you, Batcher, and Mins Decker. Decker ends up missing the last shot, max distance out, only catching the side of the target. Cursing under his breath and rolling his eyes at the jeers from the unit, he moves out of the way for Batcher. Her shot is nearly dead center, the bolt quivering as it buries itself in the wood of the tree. She nods to you with a smile that you can barely make out on her honestly nearly skeletal features. And she says, "You're up, Hapman. This might be the day I take your title." As you step up and take aim, you're hit with a powerful sense of dizziness for a moment, um, sort of a feeling of disconnect from your body that you haven't felt since you first woke up after the procedure. It only lasts for a split second before there's a surge of warmth that runs through your entire form, and you can see exactly how you're going to make the shot. Just like before the accident, we'll say, a mix of instinct and focus crystallize. The shot's almost a surprise as you softly touch the trigger. The shot that follows immediately feels right as it lands dead center in the target, nearly splitting Batcher's bolt. There's some whoops and a couple of groans as coins are exchanged. Not many, since only a few were bold enough to bet against you. You barely hear the good-natured comments about betting against the Hopman. You somehow know that you finally managed to shake off the last vestige of whatever was holding you back. You're as strong now as you were when you were at your peak.
While I do that, afterwards, of course, I give a bit of a good-natured ribbon to Rika, along the lines of you know, maybe one day, Rika, but not today. But you know, you you know, with your accuracy, I'm definitely going to have to watch my back.
Yeah, she just rolls her eyes and comments that you'd be more likely to need to watch your back with some of the other shots. But yeah, um, it's a good, we'll say, evening for you. Um, Purser, while in Mishann, you spend a good bit of time sparring with Guard Captain Theta Uraglin, and to both of your surprise, Lord Olenquai, or Adrian, as he
Mm,
asks you both to refer to him after the first week of regular sparring. Um, you get the
I'm
impression
happy
that
to get beaten up by multiple people.
Adrian is a lot like some of the more battle-hardened Templars you met back in Flamekeep. Um, he could leave frontline work to the other younger combatants, but seems to get genuinely restless if he isn't physically fighting something at least once a day. That was a kind of a recurring issue with some of the more grizzled active Templars.
Hmm.
You just get a taste for it, and it's sort of an adrenaline junkie thing. It's hard to turn it off. But the power and skill that he brings with his poleaxe is impressive, and the fact that he can make 3 rapid blows with such a large weapon is genuinely frustrating. He's quite happy to provide pointers to your own blade work, all of which is pretty helpful. Perhaps spurred on by someone else helping her student. The captain also shows you a spell she used during the last war that helped magically ward a small area against ranged attacks. By the end of the month, by the end of the 2 week period and the end of the month, you've not only added her spell to your repertoire, but your own attacks are twice as fast. Let's see here. Um, During the downtime, or during this period, I guess you wouldn't think of it as downtime. Uh, Mishann actually has a visit from the Hentar Kull or Blood Hunters tribe. Well, one of the Blood Hunters tribes. Um, Specifically, the tribe that you previously met, named Justified Paranoia. They seem to be looking to trade. Um, they say they were told about Mishann by their basically their high chief. It also the word kind of also translates to face. They organize themselves similar to how an adventuring party does. Um, but he apparently said you had a group of folk who were a lot like foreign Hantarkul, and thus somewhat trustworthy. Um, this particular group doesn't cause too much trouble, although they do try to pay for basic gear from Nat's shop with several massive gold bars, and get very upset when she isn't selling potions that can resurrect the dead. Um, they also book every room at the inn, once again trying to pay for rooms with excessive pay and items that will be difficult to make into proper coinage. Um, One of them offers to trade you, Balthazar, an ancient tablet for your mask, which seems to have fascinated the young drow. Balthazar, are you interested in the trade, or are you gonna stick with your mask?
Yes, I'll be interested in trade.
Yeah, then he's happy to do it, and as he walks away, he's looking through it and showing it off to his friends, who seem to kind of be harassing him that he would trade a tablet for that. But yeah, reading through it, you see it's a training regimen. Some of the Grave Warden monks used from a monastery called Zakal. They're able to manifest their internal energy as a protective form reminiscent of their loved ones who'd already passed into Dolura. Or Dolur, sorry. The abilities described are incredible and speak to you a bit more than the Way of Mercy that you learned in Fortune's Favor. A cursory glance reveals dedicating yourself to this path will involve rebalancing your meridians and stripping away the healing abilities you already have. If that's worth it, then your first step is mastering a physical manifestation of your astral self. It takes weeks of the 2 weeks of meditation and focus. But one morning, as you're practicing your forms next to the river, you have a breakthrough. Something inside you unlocks, and your key begins to flow out, distorting the air around you as it slowly grows into a hulking shape, a muscled, gray-tinged, bald figure. It's large enough that only the torso can form around you, making you look like the heart of an ancient giant. It's almost effortless to move it, just like the moving of your own limbs. Looking at your reflection, it's clear your astral self seems to take on the shape of the ancient giants, or of an ancient giant of Karakos. As quickly as it manifests, you just about pass out from the strain of that much of it at once. But with some practice, reveals that you can manifest the arms and head without issue, probably more as your internal energies grow. But yeah, you are a different flavor of monk. Bemi, if there was one thing you noticed during your trip in and out of Alum Cusp territory, is that the first step to getting killed is, well, being seen. While you're confident in your ability to remain invisible in the darkness, your friends keep wanting to fight in the daylight, which is more than a bit frustrating. After getting back to Mishann, you resolve to get better at sneaking and things like that. The first few days go just fine, with you practicing in the jungle and ambushing plenty of wildlife without issue. But on the fourth day, or more accurately, pre-dawn hours, as you're hunting near the river, you're surprised by a raspy voice coming from the edge of the water. Hunting, yes?
Yeah, yeah. What's what you know about it?
You can't see anyone talking. Like, it's just a voice coming from near the water.
You ain't gonna answer me back?
Uh,
I ain't gotta
as
see you.
as you say that, slowly rising out of the water is one of the lizard folk that you freed from Biepo Cole. You recognize it as one of the few who was quickest at actually getting up onto the ship and helping the others. It's armed with a clearly homemade short bow and wearing only a simple loincloth and necklace. See you in forest, those before. Very good at hunting beasts. Good nadas at two-legged things, yes? His
That
Elvish is
is,
pretty thickly accented, but you can't understand him.
I mean, it's not that I can't hit, but yeah, you right. I had trouble sometimes.
Read me and other Arsalsi, Arcisi. There, yeah. Children of Sun. If you need help, I teach.
Okay. I really wouldn't really call myself a children of child of the sun. That's not
No,
true.
you are not.
No.
You freed me and other children of Sun, and he points at the other lizard folk.
Oh, okay. All right, that's making more sense. You want to help me?
You are
Okay.
children of death, stories of death. But yeah,
That's yeah. Yeah, that's not wrong either.
and I am Laruck, or Lareshruck. Lareshruck.
Nice to meet you, Lucky.
No, Lareshruck.
Of course, whatever you say, Lucky.
He kind of squints. You are. And he looks. Ah, your servant. That is why she harms the mind. As he points at the mirror on your on your side. Uh, and with that, he doesn't need any other explanation. Um, and he,
Oh, poor child, bless your heart.
yeah,
That's what it sounds like.
yeah. There's definitely a bless your heart element there. Uh, let's see, and I will put an image up of Lareshruck.
Lucky, right?
There we go. And he tells you he was a scout in the forces of the mighty Surexel until he objected to taking hatchlings hostage to force cooperation from certain resistant clans. His punishment was to be sold to the drow slavers along with the many prisoners of war that were captured, and the unification of Almton. This is why he was hunting in the woods near Mishann rather than trying to live with his fellow lizard folk. Most of them are from tribes that were conquered by Surexel's forces and are not friendly, to him at least. He begins teaching you how to be even better at sneaking, both in the jungles and in more urban environments, which he has a surprising amount of experience with, having fought in several battles that took place in ruined ancient giant settlements, or occasionally in lizard folk settlements. Usually, he's kind of a raider. Um, he also teaches you hand signals that his people use for silent communication while hunting. But the most impressive thing he shows you is how to truly drive home the damage from a hidden shot. He demonstrates this by felling a clawfoot that was getting too close to Mishann's fields and farmers with a single shot. After about 2 weeks of constant practice, you've picked up the tricks he showed you. Start good, more to come, but that easy with learning ground walls. And it takes a moment. He's probably trying to say you've gotten the foundation of what he's trying to teach you.
No, I greatly appreciate it. If there's anything else you could ever need later on down the line, you can ask me. I'll
I
help
am
you out.
free. That is plenty.
Hey, just remember, you got a friend. And he reached his hand out for a handshake, if that makes any sense to this
It
lizard folk.
stares at your hand for a moment. If you do not elaborate, he will he'll reach out and he'll hand you his knife or something. He's not sure what you want the hand for while you're asking. But
Well, if he hands me his knife, I'm gonna hand him mine.
okay,
That's okay.
yeah, like that he gets that. That's a reasonable thing. Still foreign, but it's probably some kind of ceremony that people do. So yeah, you now have your level in sneaky.
Alrighty.
But
Hooray!
yeah, that's everybody's level up fluff. Just generally during the 2 week, 16 days of downtime. After arriving, the freed lizardfolk slaves take very little time adapting to Mishann. Most of them are quite happy to join the village's fishermen, as they seem to view fishing and hunting as facts of life and are quite skilled. The language barrier does prove to be a bit of an issue, with broken Elven being used on both sides for communication, but it's not super hard to grab that. So it does work pretty well. There's a few tense moments of culture clashes where like an incident where the lizard folk are horrified at some of the Corvarian hunters killing a crocodile. Lizard folk seem to view similarly to like how we would view dogs. So the idea of like killing it casually like that is kind of horrific, or at least distasteful.
At the very least, I could imagine it's the equivalent of like someone hunting monkeys.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's um, or how the lizard folk often don't begin their day before 10 a.m. at the absolute earliest, between like truly not waking up without ample sun and being confused at why their strange new neighbors are upset by their pace. The general consensus is if we're not slaves, why would we work like them? Um, while they, you know, we can catch plenty of prey while when the sun gives us its blessings. Luckily, their higher rate of success while fishing or hunting tends to balance things out as far as daily catches. Um, but it's like I said, it's just a culture clash issue initially. Um, one of the things that you guys notice after getting back is that like the Sulatar Drow from the Wayrub and Olenquai clans moved into the two intact giant guardhouses, which I will put you on the map.
I know they were in the process of doing that, so
Yeah, see, they did so pretty quick. They here and here. Um,
um,
they yeah, go
dur
ahead.
I was gonna say during this time period, right off the bat, I would, especially now that we have three distinct groups all living together, I during the downtime while I'm also like doing doing stuff with my men and that sort of thing, I would also be talking about setting up something of a ruling council or something on those lines with a representative from each for the purposes of airing grievances. And as a starting motion, I would definitely pretty much work out a way of finding a new place for the freed lizard folk in a way that they're not running into the drow, because I know that neither group probably wants anything to do with the other, and I don't want any like conflicts to start. So
Yeah, they're not. So the idea of sort of a group to come together and you know uh, discuss things before taking it to the governess. That is a popular one, and it's a fairly commonly used one. I feel like in parts of Corvair where you're balancing a lot of groups. That definitely goes over well. There's no issue with. Um, it does take a little bit for the lizard folk to kind of shake down. Here's who we want as our rep type thing. Um, but yeah, you're able to get somebody from both Drow clans, lizard folk, and probably someone from the Corvaran settlers. Let's see who would be a candidate who would actually be interested and available. Named NPCs, Mishann.
I liked Bemmy.
We could, but there might be some objections to the rest of the folk. Vote
I'll
for
bring it back
Bemmy
again.
in the
Bimmy,
vote
are
for
you taking
Pedro
rogue
style.
levels?
Oh, I have not. I
Yes,
actually have
I
not.
just took a level in Rogue.
That's what I figured you were doing. Why didn't you ask Pick? Pick could help.
Well,
It's
I
good.
mean,
But yeah.
I was okay with whatever.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
he was just like, I'm good with either. I was like, okay, then we'll just do an NPC.
Yeah, I have not seen this map before. Can I get a little explanation?
Oh, oh yeah, you haven't. Derp. I was like, yeah, you have. No, you haven't. So this is Mishann and the immediate surrounding area. If you zoom in here, this is the little settlement. Um, it's built on top of giant ruins, and it will change as things get better, or change at least. Over
All right.
here is a ruined temple that they found.
I'm guessing it's been explored already.
Yes. Well, yeah. It seems to have a positive effect on the we'll say ill soldiers from Ludger's group. So that's why they're trying to build a kind of a fort there, but it's slow going because a fort's a big thing to build.
I was gonna
But
say, are you building a fort around the temple or turning the temple
next
into a
to it,
fort?
next to it.
Okay, I was gonna say that temple.
Yeah.
I may start focusing on that. It's not a
I mean,
monk.
Yeah.
it's a giant. Like these, all the ruins are giant scales. It's not really. It's an endeavor to repair them. But
Yeah. Not to mention Ludger is very big and, especially explained to his men that, you know, while they certainly use the temple, he does not want them in any way to block off access to others because he's already picked up that this is something of a pilgrimage site for various people. So he does not want to like, no, you can't visit your holy site. Fuck off. And then why are the natives attacking us?
yeah, yeah. And
I'm thinking.
it wasn't even so much religious for most of the groups. It was like literally up until recently there was a natural source of healing there, so it was just like a really good spot to visit. Hey, you're so and so really sick, it's worth a visit to this strange place and maybe they'll get better. But yeah, it's either way, it's the same thing for all intents and purposes. um, but yeah, so it let's see, yeah, there could have been probably a housing issue with the drow because it's about 250 people, but splitting them between these two giant build like kind of guard houses for giants, but for medium-sized creatures they're pretty spacious. Um, that seems to be a good solution. Lizard folk want to live near the water as much as possible, so they're happy to for now just kind of stay in the ruins around what was the giant-sized dock. Um, but they're
I'm
also
getting
interested in like
those are
getting
the
things
lizard
on the
folk
run.
that we all freed, right? They're all just gonna hang
Yeah,
out in the
yeah,
docks.
yeah. Like that's quickly becoming where they decide to that they prefer to live there near the water. Um,
I remember doing some downtime, but I want to set up my own home.
yeah. Just kind of make a little mark on the map, and that can be where I will add it in the next iteration of this map because it changes over time.
Let's see here. What's
Uh,
a good spot?
like the Strom home here, that's where Ludger's family is. Hick's nest over here, that's where hers is. Bemi has a tree house, I think a mile or two out of town. Uh, yeah, a mile and a half out of town. And the Talon Tower is where Purser regularly summons his portable tower for free.
Oh, I'm gonna draw in pink. I'm going to set up my home right here.
Okay, I will add
Also, my
something.
tower has toilets and hot baths if you're ever in need.
If you need some civilization, they were able to set up a pretty good running water system here just by using the old one. Like there was one present, but yeah, it's still in the process of being made to work. So
I
Uh,
oh, I don't got the money to build my home yet, so
no, you get a free 250 gold credit towards building it. So it's just time.
all right. Well, how much time
I
again?
feel like,
Because everybody else got a freebie back before I had actually decided on a system. So it's 16 days. That's the amount of downtime that's
So
passing.
little. Do I have, how much time is to build a home?
I Let me look at the thing.
right, it took us like a few months for the rest of us.
Well, and that was literally, but like I said, it should have taken I think a lot less, but I didn't have a system. Let's see. Third party strongholds. Here we go. Strongholds.
Where is
We
that
want.
thing? Where's the
I'm
PDFs?
scrolling. Yeah, I'm scrolling to it. That's expansions. Here we go. There are rules for repairing damaged structures if you guys want to like go the route of repairing stuff. Okay, so for a hunting lodge or a cottage or farmhouse, it's 30 days typically. So it can be we can say you started before you left, and for flavor's sake, we'll hand wave it. Next session, I will just put your little house there, and you'll have a home of your own. tax
and
free for
then
a couple years.
Eventually my next downtime will be. We said we need there's plumbing that needs to be done. Maybe I'll help work on the plumbing.
You could do that, yeah. I mean that's going to be largely hand wave, but if you want to work on stuff there's actually a sewer up like build a sewer thing in the like add-ons that you can do for your houses. So if you do that effectively, it's yeah, there's definitely a tangible bonus that happens to if you get the sewer system working. Um, but yeah, like I said, lizard folk here, different drow tribes here. And as far as picking someone from the locals, probably the governess would just appoint she's inclined to pick a noble. She's gonna pick Roslyn or Ostrin, the archaeologist that you guys rescued, uh, as the town representative, which nobody really objects to. She's a friendly sort if distracted more often than not. And yeah, so there's kind of a council to bring grievances. At the moment, there's enough space, I think, between the drow and lizard folk, like half a mile at least, or a mile. So there's not any immediate conflicts. It's not friendly, but it's not super hostile. Uh, but I will say, between those natural tensions that rise between the Silatar and lizard folk, another source of tension has arisen while you guys were gone. What was originally a few nervous glances at the numbers of drow seems to have become a fledgling movement for Mishann to be exclusively for Corvarans. The leader of this is a noblewoman and a skilled mage, uh, Isora or Savdra. Yeah, Isora or Savdra. You've seen her before. She wasn't exactly popular among the other villagers thanks to her open contempt for not anyone of noble birth. But she has tapped into a concern that grew from the Sulatar's rather dramatic, some would say intimidating, entrance into Mishann. A fair number of folk have come to support the Mishann for Sirens movement, and it's clear that the governess is hoping cooler heads will prevail before she has to step in and offend one of the few surviving Cyrus nobles in Mishann. I will post an image.
That would be. She would be accurate if there wasn't another Mishann noble in the party now.
Well, it's just there's literally not many surviving noble houses. Like that's it. There's she's trying not to offend it in general. Where is it here? Oh, here we go, Sean. And this is her. I might have already posted. Yes. But yeah.
Yeah. I'll give her a Siren nobleman.
I was gonna say I am of noble blood. I can literally probably talk her down.
You could definitely give it a shot. Do you want to like approach her? She doesn't really do rallies, but she has sort of become the rallying point for it.
Yeah.
I guess
think
I'll
I'll-
talk to her.
I'll go with you for that concentration. As the two noblemen in the party, it's our duty to
That's fair.
represent our interests.
That's fair. Okay, so she is at her when she's not in her portable estate, which just seems to be like uh, she puts down a small magical box and it becomes an estate. She's careful to put it on the edge of the town. She was sort of outraged when Nat's shop was set up, but she doesn't want to move it. Seems to become a point of pride that Nat's shop should move, despite the fact that her moving would just involve picking up a box and carrying it. But she is at the inn, where she often is when she's not in her state. In the small corner booth that she always takes as far away from people as possible.
And just a quick little question.
Mhm.
The book we use for building stuff, is that the Strongholds and Followers book?
That is the
Oh,
fortresses,
there it is.
temples, and strongholds and
Strongholds. There
followers.
it is.
That one is
That's the
literally just
older
for
version.
flavor stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's for basically like once you guys have built a suitably impressive home, you can start doing basically quests to add basically layer actions to yourselves. So like if you're fighting while in Mishann, like the ranger might get extra stuff, or paladin lookalike might get extra stuff, things like that.
All right, I'm just making sure.
I mean, look alike.
Next to yeah, I'll probably work on plumbing and maybe the temple
I was
afterwards.
referring to the Karn, but
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
But for now, yeah, so we'll be going to visit. Apparently,
well,
we're both nobles the same, so we could be cousins for all I know.
probably distantly, but
I was the third born that got sent to the monastery, so I wasn't expected to be royalty at all.
oh,
Were you referring to
for her,
me or her?
yeah, that
Me.
was what threw me. Okay.
Uh, I mean, technically, we're both of the same. We could all be cousins. Who knows?
No. Purser's title is inherited as a
Okay.
mark of his position as Templar of the Church.
Okay, you and all right.
It doesn't make it not real.
Yes, yes.
Um,
You earned it. We know.
so as you approach her at the inn, she doesn't really bother to look up from where she seems to be reading until you're literally blocking her light, and she kind of glances up with I would say perpetual sneer, but that's not fair. She also glares occasionally. Um, she looks up and says, "What what is it?"
Heard you're from the homeland.
Well, we're all supposed to be from the homeland here. She glares at Purser.
What my colleague means to say, my lady Saavedra, is that it is a pleasure to meet you here, and we have some things that we'd like to discuss.
If if you must, she puts down the scroll that she was reading and gestures towards the opposite end of the seat.
I'll wait until Baltatar sits down before sitting
I'll sit down.
myself.
I'll sit down. Yes.
Okay.
But maybe noble by background doesn't mean I know how to be a noble.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't. They probably went over basics with you, but like when you were a kid. But when it became clear that the heir and the spare were fine, yeah, that's when you got shunted off.
And then I got taught monk stuff, and now I'm just discount Jotaro, so you know.
You still have all the monk stuff, and you still have basic decorum. You're not
Yeah,
gonna completely make an ass of yourself, probably.
you know which fork is for the salad and which one is for the eyeballs.
Right, yeah. And the
It's the
long
same
one you
fork.
scratch your ass with. Yeah. So yeah, she just patiently watches both of you.
I've come to discuss something with you.
Well, clearly, that's what we're doing.
Yes, indeed. You're starting a movement, I've heard.
I voiced some opinions, and well, at least a little bit of the homeland still lives, and some folk have listened.
Indeed, but I've been hearing it when I'm a bit busy building my home, that you wish to exclude everyone but us from this town.
Yes, it's Mishann. It's supposed to be a new homeland for our people. We've already let Carns and Rainish in. There's no good reason to start letting in strange savages from this land.
You claim? I don't see it that way. I see this is a town for everyone to start again.
Well, it's I believe antithesis to the whole point of this. But you're free to have your opinions.
It is a terrible thing that happened to the land of our fathers, but we must face facts that even if you might say I am not Siren as you must face the facts that the population was greater than decimated on the day.
Yes, terrible losses.
There simply are not enough Sirens to repopulate a nation here. We need to reach out and bring in the weary and the lost and the useful in order to make this great.
She kind of narrows her eyes and you get the distinct impression like she's actually appraising you beyond when you first arrived. Hmm. Well, that's certainly an ideal, but before we start bringing in outsiders, perhaps we should try more accurately, uh, genuinely try to bring in those who've been downtrodden and thrown to the wind, and even in some cases enslaved in that filthy goblin nation we had to come through. I see no reason why we should give preference to these strange outsiders.
Now, I certainly don't disagree, Lady Saavedra, but alas, me and my companions are busy quite frequently, ranging about these lands, and someone here with budding power perhaps could push for that themselves.
Oh, I have been. I'll be pushing for quite a bit while you're out gallivanting about. I heard about that.
Yes. Have you heard in detail of the things that we've encountered out there, the threats that we face in this new land?
I've heard of some of them. They seem a bit exaggerated, but certainly heard of some things.
So, Purser will go into a kind of very polite but pointed explanation of the horrors that he saw in what was the place? Gwynedd?
Those
Ah, okay. Okay.
those
It's
plant
like
monsters that in the spring. I remember them.
not even concerned about the monsters. That's just Eberron. Weird things happen here. But like the armies of slaver drow with mind controlling potions who seem
Oh,
to
yeah.
have a taste for the exotic and the strange. I'm just going to paint a picture for her of the kind of things we have to deal with here, and we need to become strong enough to.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was.
It is a
This.
very noblesse polite description. I don't want to be vulgar about it,
Yeah,
but
no, I get you. This is like
I'll
leaning
be if
on
she doesn't
the.
learn.
Yeah, this is like leaning on
Yeah,
the yellow
this person's
peril type
extreme.
shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say this person's extremely xenophobic. Wanna know what will change your mind? Talking about how like horrible and evil the people we're inviting in are.
No,
ah,
I get the point of it. Like this is to get a common ground element. Like that's she's
hmm
definitely willing to listen to that.
Yeah.
And she does like she's actually listening to you, which um you didn't get the impression she was before. Uh, I will say both of you give me a perception check as you're talking with her.
okay.
One short of a
Oh
net
yeah,
20.
You said perception?
indeed.
11.
You're busy, like you're giving the spiel. And
hmm
she is listening. You're kind of focused on like on teasing out exactly what you're trying to say. Uh, Balthazar, something catches you off guard a couple times, and you can't figure out like what's weird. And then you notice like it takes you a minute to kind of lean back into your memories about your your tutor like rapping you over the knuckles when you go to reach for the wrong spoon. But while she certainly has the level of inborn arrogance and just like when that's her seat you're sitting in, she just walks. She doesn't say anything. She just walks up and just looks mildly surprised that you're in it. Um, that like that's all nobles have that typically, or at least they're raised to have it. What you're caught off guard by is that occasionally, while she takes a bite or listens to you, some of her manners aren't very good, like basic table manners stuff. Um, like these are not mistakes a noble should be making.
And if I may, I'm waiting for a part where Purser has a pause, and I may ask a question. If I may, I actually never got your full name. Can you please tell me what family you're from and heir and lineage?
Purser like winces because he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, and she kind of looks at you. She had gone back to ignoring you. I am Azora or Savedra, and my family hails from southeastern Sire. And she rattles off, some actual noble estates, affiliated with things like that. Um, all the names make sense. Like all that seems to like bear out to what you can remember of it, at least at a
Explain why
casual
she can't.
glance.
Explain why she doesn't know how to eat properly.
It is an oddity.
Hmm.
You can ask her. You seem to have the manners of a pig.
I'm saving that. I'm saving that for the.
She hasn't openly started insulting you yet. It's all just been very, very passive aggressive.
Yeah. Purser's gonna start pivoting the conversation into talking about the lizard folk and really going for a noble savage angle on them. Like, they may be primitive and uneducated brutes, but I saw them like toiling under the whips of their elven masters, and I could see their hope for a future better than this, and we can offer them that. And just really, like, I don't want to sound like a terrible colonizing racist, but
But my
like,
character does. No,
I
I get
even Purser doesn't want to, like, Purser's not a bad guy, but he's recognizing that, like, that's the angle that
That's how you want to
will.
play here. No, I get
Mhm.
it, man. Like forever
And I don't.
I played Tane, man. You're good. I get it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But
Uh,
yeah, I don't even want a 100% agreement from her. I don't want to get stonewalled here. I want this to
this is how
continue,
you
and
get a foot in the door. Yeah, no,
exactly.
I absolutely get it. And yeah, and she does listen. And uh, maybe a persuasion check with advantage because
Okay.
you're selling it well.
I'm gonna spend my inspiration to
Okay.
reroll that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
13.
Oh, 20 actually, not 20 because you
Oh,
had
even
advantage.
better.
So yeah, nice. So yeah, you lay this out flawlessly. Like they could have. You were very proud about this. And she picks at her food a little bit and says, "I will certainly take these things into account, both of you." And she says, "Hadron, Alan, I will see you more in the future, I'm sure." And yeah, with that, she gets up and leaves most of her food, um, and strides out. And Purser, that was odd. That was very odd because like this should have you laid this out flawlessly. This absolutely should have persuaded her if she believes anything that she's been saying.
You can't land every fish.
Right, but this should have gotten this should have not have gotten that result. So now you like there's something really weird about her as she walks off. Or
Hmm.
at least she could just be lying through her teeth on why she's doing it. But
That's
That's
fair.
when I leaned over and whispered to Purser, "Did you notice that she does not know how to eat properly at all?
Really?
Did you, look at her table manners. She eats like a peasant, as we would say."
it's not
I
quite
didn't.
that bad, but it's more like she's just it wasn't perfect. So it's more like a merchant or something.
I'm sure it's nothing too
She
serious.
eats.
I mean,
She
we're
eats
hardly in
by.
perfect situation
She
here.
eats like, and may insert God member on. Forgive me for saying this. She eats like a merchant.
Hmm. Are you sure?
I don't know if that's actually a noble we're talking to. They would. I was a proper noble even before I was basically exiled. They drill that into your skull daily how to eat. That's not a habit you forget.
I have to confess I didn't have that upbringing myself, but it does make
If
sense.
if we were eating at the same table at when my age and I was wearing this, they would have beaten your ass for eating the way you do.
You're only
What
That's
do
the
going
you
to
kind of
have
stuff
mean?
one
you don't
pony
forget.
from now on. Oh. Yeah.
I always wanted a sheep. The trauma haunts me to this very day.
It's definitely something to look into more.
She's
Hopefully, we've
got
planted
she's got
enough of a seed to disrupt her plans at the very least.
she's got the name and the titles down, but anyone can memorize his history if you have the book for it.
Hmm.
But she does. But it's everything looks right. But if you look at the mannerisms, the way they walk, it's just not right.
So, another question is, are her mannerisms, like, obviously Siren?
Mm, that is a good one. And I would say no.
Okay.
Is her accent right?
Yeah. I would say
Right.
accent, diction, like all of that's very, very good. Especially like you can get away with it a lot for Sirens because they were whole, oh, we take a little bit of everything from everywhere.
That's fair, yeah.
Like you could get away with a lot of that. But yeah,
Yeah, I think there's definitely different angles here of she could be like a Siren commoner pretending to be a noble, or she could be uh like Thrainish commoner or Brelish. And that's an entirely different, like, sticky layer to the situation. But this definitely bears further investigation. She also She also left before allowing us to offer our own farewells. Oh, all these pieces just aren't adding up, are they?
Do you know anyone in here that's good at following people?
E.
Yeah, that'd
bug
be
eyes
Pick
from
or
ceiling.
Bemmy, I think.
He's not
Pick is,
there, but
He
just
did. She was there the whole time.
Pick is just there looking at the chandelier.
I mean,
I
she
mean,
was
if a place
here.
got a sparkly chandelier, you bet your biscuit she'd been in there pretty frequently.
They
Let's
don't have
say
one yet. Yeah.
I was gonna say that is if that was actually in character, that would be perfect. And like, nope, you're hired. I may need a contact pick. There's something about her. I don't think she's a noble.
Hmm.
She could be an imposter, a fake. Who knows? This place is kind of has an open door policy to people coming here. Could even be a doppelganger for all we know.
Where are the records of who's come through the portal so far?
Don't even have records.
No, they have been trying to keep record of it.
They're Sirens, of course they have records.
In the governor's building. Yeah.
So, you find one of our followers, huh, and I'll check the records and see what I can find there.
Okay. So, yeah, there's there's a split in the party, as some people are going to stalk her to her estate or wherever she goes, and
She's a
Purser's
pretend nobleman. How damaging could she be? Or dangerous, even?
so and some of you are going to go to the governor's building to get some stuff. So Balthazar and Pick, I'm hearing, are heading to the estate or just gonna stalk the lady around. Purser is headed to the governor's building. Does anyone like? Are you guys gonna blow the horn and get the whole party together, or are you like, we got this?
If I happen to see them on the way, I'll grab them, but this is a very... And like I said, it's not a dangerous thing. It's not a combat situation.
Okay.
Just investigation. So
Okay.
I imagine I might bump into Ludger on the way since he lives pretty close to there.
Yeah, that's fair. And Bemi, do you want to have been in town doing things, or are you good doing other stuff?
I mean, I'd be making the treehouse better, but that's
I was gonna say I came from my home to the inn, I'm assuming, and now we go to Governor's Building up the road, and yeah, I can easily tail her and then see if I can get Strom real quick.
Okay.
I got monk movement. I probably could go gap close and keep an eye on her.
Yeah, and that's a good way to keep low profile, like sprinting, wall running, and dashing through this place.
As long as he Naruto runs, he can't be seen.
Exactly. They don't notice me carrying the 10 pounds of hashish through the door if I Naruto run through it. That's what Seth taught me.
I
If you
can
start
also
Naruto
send
running, I will
Pearl
find
to keep
ways
an
to
eye
kill
on
your
her.
character. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I'm not a shadow monk. You're fine.
In the meantime, I can send Pearl to trail her.
Oh, okay.
Since
Yeah.
Pearl
Cat.
is a cat and inconspicuous.
Fair enough.
So at least
Just like,
until one of our more skilled trackers gets on her.
gotcha. Okay, fair enough. So you got like a beautiful silver white cat, and we'll
A
say,
black cat, actually.
oh, black cat. Oh, sorry, I
Yeah.
assumed it was silver white. I've been
She has
imagining
like
a
a
Persian this whole time.
silvery rainbow iridescence.
Ah, okay. And Pick, you can be where you want to be. For flavor's sake, I imagine you were at the inn, like, I don't know, doing something Pick like. I don't know. You could easily be at the inn.
She might be
Okay.
doing something Pick like.
Yeah.
She just likes watching people too, so
And
it's
yeah, that is fair. It's nice
part
to
of
be
it is
back.
her. Yeah,
People who dream.
these people are all weird. Yeah, all these people dream, so it's just like free, constant television.
And you know what? Actually, on that note, Pick, you watch a particularly person with like, I would say it's bigger, but it's like a very different shaded dream walks by, and then you see that weird little like edible thing that they said they isn't edible chases after her, and then you see Balthazar and Purser walk out.
She will watch them, but like look after the dream person and slowly walk in their direction while watching the dream person, occasionally glancing back to make sure she doesn't trip.
Fair enough. So you guys see Pick. Pick, are you trying to sneak now, or are you just like entranced by new dream person?
She's kind of just doing that childlike open staring, but I don't know if the person would even notice.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to. So yeah, Balthasar and Cursor, you see Bammy. You see Pick has the 1,000-yard moth stare locked onto your target. Maybe she somehow telepathically knew you guys were getting ready to stalk her.
Ah, excellent. Things are handled. I'll go check the records.
Looks at them. What? Weird dream, points at the lady.
I turn to look at Pick, and I just see the Bateman there.
I'll just turn
But
towards
in
him.
moth.
What do you mean weird dream, Peck?
Dream, big dreams, very different. Darker? Not like people. Not like you.
How not like me? I need you
Sammy.
to.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like comparing the view of like I don't know, an open sky or something to the view of a like immaculately constructed castle. So one is just free range and there's all kinds of stuff that can happen in it. One is like kind of constructed and um, impressive in its own right, but more artificial.
Okay, and hers is the construction one.
Yes. Yep, yep.
Okay. Should be
Most
like your
people just have
dreams
that
like
open sky. Yeah.
your dream like openscape. Anything could happen. Jungles and waters and many things in the world, all changing, could be different all the time. Hers is like she make very meticulous, very structure.
Like a
Like
wall keeping you out?
no, not out, just made. Like you talk about temple, you show picture in book how very particularly constructed. It
Hmm.
is made. It she make. You don't make. You are in. You are. It is happening, and it is all around and different. You could have all sorts of things. I don't know what is going to happen. You don't know what is going to happen. It looked like she build. Impressive, but structured.
So I'll look to Balthazar and. She's
Is that
either.
kind of
Oh, go ahead.
is was Satalis' dreams look different because she was that dream creature thing?
The tallest didn't dream,
Okay.
but there was an innate high. Like honestly, the tallest felt a little bit like fellow moth people. There
Okay.
was a serious tie there, but you weren't sure the like you weren't sure of the origin. But she didn't have dreams at all. She just felt like she was like a misplaced part of it. Very similar
Okay.
to how most like Thri-Kreen feel, honestly.
Yeah, and I've never seen dreams like this lady before.
You have not.
Okay. I have never seen a dream like this before.
Do you recall when we met that demon that I let out? Were you able to feel their dream?
Was I?
Mm, I don't think. Do fiends dream? Out of curiosity, like
No. So
yeah.
what Purser's
So
doing is
no.
trying to figure out a way to interpret Pick's bizarrely inefficient senses with his own worldview of how things work.
I got you. Yeah. So there was no dream with that being.
She shakes her little head and says, "No dreams. No dreams and demons."
She might be a very well-trained mentalist, or some kind of magic is protecting her, although I imagine that would feel different to you.
Oh.
I guess Lutger didn't dream anyway. I was about to ask if she can read him now that he has the shielding ring. Yeah, this could be more serious than we thought, Balthazar.
Indeed.
I mean, even my well-regimented mind reads as chaotic to our resident mind reader.
Dream watch, no mind read.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
my
nowhere near as
apologies.
precise. Yeah, like it's more like, I need this message sent. I'll tell you what I can do for you. I can do smoke signals.
Does interpretive dance.
Yeah. Damn it.
Damn it, Pick. I can go ask why her dream is weird. Almost did.
Don't ask her. I think we need to follow her and find out what she's been doing. If she's
Ooh,
been
okay.
meeting someone or doing anything sneaky.
I stalk.
Don't let her see you.
Okay. She will start to creep off.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do
that.
you-
Oh,
Sorry,
go
go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was gonna say, like, do you try and do this with your friends, or are you aware that like you love them, but you know, probably best if you.
She feels like she was assigned a mission to stalk someone, and she's really excited about that. So she's like,
Gotcha. Okay.
I stalk.
Gang stalking with the boys is where it's at.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So separate roles for if you guys are stalking her.
So-
Oh my
That's not
god.
bad.
Not the best. Usually better.
It's not a bad
No,
roll.
that's not.
16's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, 16's not
Yeah, I
bad.
mean, getting a 9's not bad for the. Yeah,
Is there any way I can
Yeah, what is
assist with?
roll the 16 is bad. What is this, Pathfinder?
You could you could have literally been outside, like going at like, I don't know, you have some ducks or something you want to sell to the innkeeper, and like you
So-
bump into them as they go to leave if you want to help.
So, on that note, I was actually going to be sending Pearl to go and find him and do the like Timmy stuck down the well thing.
What's that? Ow. You can still do that if you want, but like if you want to be, if
If we
anyone
bump
who's not
into him,
there
that's
wants to
fine.
be there, yeah, you can be. Like,
so I said I like the idea that you do that, and Pearl goes all the way and is just about to get to Bemmy's house when you stumble across Bemmy. Is like, no, Pearl, never mind, come back.
And I could tell Redemptor to go and find Ludger.
Okay, sure. So,
Yeah,
What's that, Redemptor? Nay.
an enormous
Ludger's
horse,
probably
yeah, so good.
Ludger's probably nearby anyways, considering like
This is
you
right
know,
outside his front door.
well, not a combination of that combined with the fact that I imagine he's been fairly busy the last few weeks trying to tard wrangle the newly emerging political factions in Gloompoint with a whole like, we have former slavers and former slaves now living in the same town. Maybe we don't want them shanking each other to death, so should probably like you know create channels and stuff, which basically the ship that I said earlier.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
imagine
getcha.
that's still ongoing.
So we'll say you're on your way back. I don't know, you're headed to your house from the governor's building. That's an easy one. And an enormous horse like skitters down the street towards you. Um,
So it goes careening around the corner.
yeah. And it's very recognizable as Purser's like strange summon thing.
I feed the horse a carrot.
Oh, yeah, he's all for that.
I mean, I find this whole thing funny because I have to deal with horses as part of my class, and you know, it's for both endearing and demystifying as you you're working with actual horses. So
Yeah, yeah.
He is an
Um,
unsettlingly intelligent horse, and in fact, not a horse at all.
Yeah, like that's the best part of it for me is like this is an angelic being or a celestial being in the form of horse who's like, fuck yeah, carrot. And
I mean, I'm not going to turn down a carrot. I don't think an angel would either.
that's fair. That's fair.
A
I
whole
mean,
apple.
to me, it's like the whole does it smell like an actual horse? Which you get used to, the
You
smell
get
of horse
used to
shit.
it.
I'd say there's a little bit of a hint of it, but it's otherwise just like a clean spiritual smell.
What do spirits smell like?
Incense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, you
Rainbows.
you have a horse, of course. And what would you like to do with it? Follow it? Sell it?
Yeah, I imagine that. Oh, that's pretty good. It's not the exact clip I wanted, but
And he'll even like bow down and let you on. He doesn't have the same foibles that Purser does.
well, I'm still, I imagine I'm a lot more spry than when I just woke up, so I'll do that. Also, because I know that this will probably upset Purser, so
Yeah, yes on both accounts. I mean, I'm speaking for Percy here, but I feel like it might upset him. Ah, yeah. So it's not any issue for this horse to come flying back towards the inn wherever you are, Purser.
Yep.
And Pick, with your stealth, how are you? Are you like fluttering from rooftop to rooftop over her head? Are you like creeping behind trash cans? How exactly you sneaking?
It depends on what if she's going through like an urban dense area and it's easier to go above, then she would go above because most people don't look up.
Okay. Um, yeah, as you follow behind her, she stops, like dead stops in an alleyway, and like seems to freeze for a moment, and then immediately, like almost unnaturally quickly, turns her head to like exactly where you are, and just stares and says, "Whoever's there, come out."
Why not?
You not, or I'm sorry.
I said, why not? She would, because if she's been spotted, she's like,
There's no way she could have spotted you. Like this is like
oh,
she
okay.
had no like she there's no way she shouldn't know where you are, but somehow she seems to. Sorry, like I should specify this better.
Okay.
Somehow she knew exactly where you were. She spotted you without seeing you somehow.
Mm, Pickle wait for a minute just to see if she's insistent and it's just a suspicion.
You see a
Even
bit of ice start to form around her hand as she like points in your direction.
Pick will look up and then telepathy. Why are dreams weird?
And
Because
she,
it's it's easier to be honest with the fact Pick was probably actually going to follow her anyway than my friends told me to follow you.
so at that, like whatever she was expecting, she wasn't expecting that, especially in her head. Um, she says, "What? Who- Come out! Who is this? Who are you?"
Dream watch. I am a dream watcher, and your dream is weird, and I follow because your dream is weird. Why?
"I'm going to fire my spell if you don't come out right now." She seems to be losing her patience.
Well, she's definitely not going to be expecting the thing that comes out. Pick will
No.
pop out,
Okay.
very
Yeah.
fluffy and indignant.
Who are you?
I live here.
Oh, of course you do. But why are you following me?
Because your dream is weird. With all four hands out, like emphasizing that she has already told her that it is because her dreams are weird. And it is also very honest because she desperately wants to know.
Right. Yeah. No, you're not lying. That's the upside
Mm-mm.
here. There's no deception check. Um, she just cocks an eyebrow and puts her hand down, like the rime of frost kind of falls off. I don't know what you're talking about, but my dreams are perfectly normal, and you should remember that. All right?
What you make. They are neat, very structured, kind of impressive. It does like you make, but they are not normal. But they are very pretty.
Her face kind of goes blank at this point. Where's everybody else? Out of curiosity.
This probably would have been right when Ludger's like catching up to us, and we're filling him in,
Okay. So is
and
like,
Benny, I guess.
are you guys talking and running, or are you just like breathlessly explaining while he's on the horse?
Um, I don't think we'd be like chasing after Pick, but maybe just meandering in that direction.
Okay. One sec here.
Because the whole point was to be stealthy, and it doesn't work if we're all thundering down the street in the same direction.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, and she's just she doesn't actually say anything directly to you, Pick, but she just seemed to murmur something under her breath and gesture towards you, and I need a wisdom saving throw.
Fair enough.
Okay. You blink for a moment, and your friends are coming up behind you in the. You're not sure why you're in this alleyway.
Weird.
Are we
The
actually, or is
last.
this an illusion or something?
Nope. This is you guys are arriving and pick. You don't you were at the inn to like you were just at the inn. Why are your friends
She
looking
just
weird?
Pick.
she looks at the building next to her, like if it's the inn, and then looks around to see like where she is, because the inn is here. Where's she at now?
You guys are like down here. Yeah.
Like a
Okay.
couple blocks away.
Yeah.
Where is she?
Do I know I was following someone, or I don't remember?
Let's say the last 10 minutes are a blank.
Okay. Mm, what?
The noblewoman, Lady Saavedra, with the weird dreams.
Just tilts her head. I
You
don't
said
know
they.
why I am in this alley. I was at the inn, and now I am here.
You were following a woman who you said her dreams looked, I don't know, artificial.
Hmm.
You said it was weird. You don't
Well,
remember
this
any of
is
this?
weird. No, this is weird.
So I'm going to walk up to Pick and cast Identify on her, just to make sure there's no like effects on her or anything.
That is fair. Let me look up how this works. You know what? I would say because it's a lingering thing, you can tell someone's cast Modify Memory on pick.
Your memories have been tampered with. This is so much worse than we thought.
Was she?
She swears in Threacrine and stomps her little foot.
I think it's about time we go to the government building now.
I think so.
She's got modify. Is a modify memory a bit of a powerful spell? Like it takes some time to learn it.
It's certainly not a simple working. I think in the meantime we should avoid staying alone. Move in pairs if we can. Except for Ludger with his protective ring.
Well, not the one with the ring. It's
Oh, Balthazar
It's
with
yeah,
the
me.
ring, sorry.
Balthazar.
Ring of mind
Okay.
shield. It actually would come in handy with her now. She's got
Yeah.
mind.
So I will say, the upside of all this is before that happened, Pick gave away no information tying her to any of you. On the upside is like it wasn't a like she
This
couldn't
was
have
not
spilled the
suspicious to her.
beans. Yeah, this was just like this bug thing is not letting this go. Press
And I
button.
mean, it's not like
Flashy thing.
there are, I think, a grand total of 2 moth people in the town now.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's, I think, well known that one of them is in our little band.
Yeah. That is true.
And she's probably the one that's been weird about it for like months, about just like following people around and looking at their dreams and being just generally weird.
Yeah, like it's because it's Pick, it's considered like harmless, but
Mhm.
it is unsettling. Which why why rabbit so big? And it's like when the person had a nightmare about like an enormous carnivorous rabbit or something. What?
What? She just speaks weird nonsense at people that are like, well, she's harmless and it's kind of cute, so I guess we're just gonna let it ride.
Yeah, that's the general consensus.
See, I doubt we're completely in the clear, but we need to check these records and maybe talk to the governess. She's clearly not what she seems to be if she's throwing around magic like that.
Cool. Yeah. So I feel like Bemi and I'm sorry, Ludger have been filled in, but are still probably Fused. Bemmy, what were you doing when they found you, out of curiosity?
He was sleeping in a hammock at his treehouse.
So
Just like, all right, I finally got a day off. Bummy, son of a bitch.
It was just Pearl meowing
yeah,
outside the
it
door.
wasn't even Bemmy. It was
Meow.
yeah. Pearl scaled the tree, climbed onto your chest and did the screaming thing.
I know that yeah, Dan doesn't know the sound, but I imagine Pearl in this moment sounded like Shuby.
Yeah, like that weird. Like I don't even.
And she's like spinning around in circles and
Yep.
The only one that yeah, now I think the only one that I could remember that could do that sound perfectly was Kenny.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. It was like yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, well-
so you guys are, as a group, do you want to head to the governor's building, or you have lost the trace on this mysterious noblewoman?
so yeah, on the way to the governor's building, I'll like, fill them in. Like, there's this noble woman who's been xenophobic and exclusionary to all the newcomers, blah blah blah. We talked to her. We think she might not actually be noble, just someone pretending to be a nobleman. And
Knows knows pretty powerful magic.
yeah, she erased Pick's memories, which, leaving aside everything else, is a direct attack against us.
Rude. Stomps her foot.
I fear that she could be perhaps a demon in disguise, or maybe a spy from one of the other nations. Who's to say? But we need to speak with the governess and find out who this woman is.
Hell, put out a warrant for arrest. That's cast him off on memory is practically assault.
Hard to prove, though. All we
You
have
literally
is my
detect-
word.
You literally detected the magic on her.
But I'm just a Thranish intruder. That's how she'll
My
turn it against
word.
me if it comes to that. I hate to say this, Pick, but your memories were erased. You don't have any evidence.
I went from in where I'm having a good day to alley and not know how I get there.
I mean, sometimes.
And
Well,
I do
you
not drink.
Oh, that was going to be my next question because sometimes I drink a bottle by myself. Like if it's me by myself and just a bottle, and I empty it.
Pass out in
I'll
the hot
wake up
sun.
someplace different too. Yeah, sometimes.
Your drinks are too big.
Well, okay.
Oh God, can you imagine hangover as a drow? The, the
Uh,
level of pain. All right, uh, so you
the rat
guys
tails Yara moonshine will do that to you every time.
you guys head to the governor's building. The governess is in, and she is perfectly willing to see you guys as you are quickly becoming people of action within Mishann. You're their go-to. They'd call you heroes or adventurers even, and
At the
that's
very least, trusted agents.
right. But they don't have a title to call you by, so who knows.
Those people.
Yeah, exactly. That might end up
Our
becoming the name.
our continued failure to come up with an actual name for the party as well as a symbol.
It's
I mean, at
it's
this point, I'm just going to say, fuck it, call ourselves the Mystery Men, just to like solidify the question mark fucking symbol.
uh taped baldy, yeah. All right, so you guys go in and the governess is in and she's happy to speak with you. She actually tells you that tomorrow, or no, it'd be 2 days from now. 2 days from now, she is on the 2nd of the month. The next batch of colonists will arrive from Corvair, so she's kind of getting ready for that because there's also, in addition, there's the group of mercenaries that she spoke with you guys about before you left, as well as a lot of engineers from House Cannith. They're going to try and build a little fort here to
Ah,
house the resident forces.
excellent. It's all very good news.
And yeah, but enough about her. She has what she can do for you.
Ah, Lady Thavar, I'm sure you're aware of the actions of Lady Saavedra, whatever.
David, yeah, you're saying it better than I am, man. You're good.
Okay, even with my stuffy nose.
Yep, it's not a high bar.
Lord Haldron here and myself have some suspicions about her, partially confirmed by Pikik Cha. I'm concerned that she's some kind of imposter.
Yeah, she kind of raises her eyebrows. Well, that's quite an accusation. Could you uh, give more detail maybe on why you think this, or?
Initially, it was just her mannerisms seemed uncouth, poorly trained. Like my own, for example. But when we had Pick follow her, she was exposed to the effects of a memory modification spell, presumably from her or someone working for her.
Hmm. Um. Well, that is definitely something serious. Do you have any? I'm sorry to say, do you have any witnesses of this? It's going to be very difficult for me to act against a noblewoman of a family that old without direct evidence.
I feared as much, and beyond my own testimony with my identification magics, I have nothing to offer, but I would like access to the immigration records. See if we can find a what's the word I'm looking for? Incongruity.
Well, uh, I'm not supposed to say this, but given how much all of you have helped the Mishann so far, I would have granted that before this. I will absolutely begin trying to keep a closer eye on her.
That's all I ask.
But uh, I, I'm I'm glad you understand the position that would put me in. Her family, she's here. I'll explain. As she gets up and like shows you guys back into. It's still basically a walk-in cupboard, but
Mhm.
there's not a need for a big dramatic room yet. But uh, here you are. She's the last scion of uh, uh, her family. Very old Siren family. Thought, frankly, we thought was quite gone. But she showed up. Irrefutable evidence, all the family seals. Was able to was actually recognized by, uh, well, admittedly distant relatives. Uh, there was because we have had issues in the past with imposters before, but she
Hmm.
passed every test we came up with, or at least every test that Prince Orgev came up with for sending her. She well, she has been something of an asset when it came to clearing farmland. Her her magic, especially the frost magic she wields, is very potent. Um, it's unfortunate that she's taken such a strange bent politically, and even more unfortunate that she's apparently assaulting you lot. And yeah, like she shows you the record, and it does like on paper, this is about as solid as you're gonna get. Um, for all the right family stuff, all of the um double checked and verified that she is, the daughter so and so. She claims that after the morning, she um, was a refugee for a brief period, but was able to use her magic to make a living till she made her way to Sharn and made a living as a freelance contractor, she just said. Uh, Probably something like muscle for hire and or magic muscle for hire, and
Yeah.
then came here when Mishann, as soon as she heard about it. That's the story, at least.
By the host, this is something out of a terrible play, isn't it? Well, thank you for your assistance, Lady Thavar, but we may have reached a dead end here. I assure you will remain as circumspect as possible, and I appreciate that you will do the same.
Well, yes, to be honest, she was getting close to forcing my hand to start keeping tabs. Anyways, with all of this exclusionist rhetoric, Mishann isn't going to be able to stand on its own, even if I was inclined that direction. It's simply not realistic.
Precisely.
This is not a good direction for us to go in. And to be perfectly honest, she didn't strike me as particularly foolish. I feel like she would know that. Um, I've talked with the woman before. She didn't seem to have these views until recently.
How recently?
Um, I would say probably after you first arrived back from your survey of the southern half of the island.
Maybe
Was
someone wear her skin.
maybe
Um,
nothing that extreme, but it's certainly a possibility.
It is. I've seen some stuff.
Like a little horrified at that as she looks back. Uh, well, if you're asking about changelings impersonations, there was some rather arduous complaints, but we have before anyone came through, we have been using a uh, revealing glass, and it was expensive to obtain, but so far we've only found one changeling who was trying to get in under a different name, and I'll have you know that they, at least as far as I know, weren't affiliated with this woman. We're trying to keep that kind of record private for obvious reasons. Uh, if anything happens regarding that person, I'll be happy to share the evidence of it, but we already get enough complaints about using it. And
Of
so
course.
in world, I might have mentioned this before, but I had starting, I think I said started in Sharn, but during the last war, they did come up with basically sort of an X-ray scanner that just reveals magical concealment stuff, because I feel like with changelings, that would be something that you would have to develop. It's not like portable or convenient. It's basically like the airport scanner you have to walk through. And there's ways to trick it, but it's something they use at a lot of like checkpoints and things. It's like I said, it's not foolproof, but it's just something so that changelings can't just completely overturn anything incredibly easily, because otherwise it's laughably easy.
I actually remember you did do that in the
In the once a month one.
but
Yeah.
yeah, in the once a month one. It was really sad too. They're like, "Yep, you just see a changeling in their absolute most true form." It's very plain, basically. It was like,
Yeah, it's kind of mannequin like. It's very plain.
yeah.
Uncanny.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very uncanny valley.
Disgusting. Foul.
Sure.
No.
Anyways, Percy. Um, but yeah, so they're she's kind of trying to meet it halfway. Like apparently there is a changeling here. They tried to get in using an identity, but they weren't posing as someone else. It was just an identity,
Right.
as they tend to do. So basically, they can still keep track of this person. If that person just goes missing, then it's like, oh, the changeling's doing shit. Which would get like in Sharn, there have been hundreds of complaints issued by changelings, but they just kind of have that like right after 9/11 attitude about Muslims. Like, yeah, you can complain all you fucking want. Step through the scanner. Like that's basically the attitude they took during the war. It's gotten a little better, but they're pretty, I would say, bigoted.
Well, it's a lot of like the Roma gypsy vibes as well.
Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
it's like they'll take your children in the night. And...
Jump through your
Right,
tears.
yeah. But regardless, so that's that's my reasoning there is, so they're fairly certain if she's not a changeling at least. Like there are higher levels of magical stuff that it doesn't detect. It's Eberron, but low level or innate magic stuff probably isn't something that it detected.
My biggest concern is that now the governess knows, so if we're like forced to fight a noblewoman in the middle of the street, someone at least knows what's going on.
Why are they shanking Lady Duchess? Yeah, I get you.
Long story.
Yeah, just covering the bases.
No, that's definitely why.
And she might have had useful information. I mean, she did have really useful information there, but nothing actionable.
Yep.
So yeah, we know she seemed fine up until we got here. So
up until you started being successful, I would say. Like before that, it was like, oh yeah, you did some stuff, some local level stuff, great. When you got back from the southern end of the island, it's like, yeah, the place is taken off. That's when she got a little weird. Maybe it's just that's because when more people started showing up, who knows?
Also, that was relatively soon after the Mishann arrived here, and it was before we started bringing a bunch of people in, so it's not like we brought in a doppelganger or something, or at least that's unlikely.
No.
So yeah, it could be anything, but I doubt that it's like a super deep conspiracy. Because something like that wouldn't have unraveled over sudden racism.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, so anything else you guys would like to do before we go to the next thing?
With all this going on, I will include a request for any information that the church has on her in my next report. So it could be like 2 months before we get anything back from that angle. But like,
yeah,
if there's anything
fair.
obvious that the church spies come up with,
well,
like,
actually, the mail's about to go out, so it would just be a month. Like it, everybody's getting ready to send their post. Like either tomorrow or the day after. It sounds like the day after they're expecting it on the 2nd. The new group of colonists will arrive, as well as the guy who basically like drops off mailbags and will be picking up mailbags to go back through Midway.
Man, that is an awful job.
Apparently, it's not bad as long as no one as long as you don't go through it more than once a month. Like it starts to get unsettling when he turns around and makes the return trip. Things start getting more hostile, but it doesn't. That demiplane doesn't get aggressively hostile unless you hop in and out a bunch of times.
Is it like one guy or a rotation?
It's a whole town. It's a whole town of a seemingly idyllic
place.
No,
I mean like the mailman.
Oh yeah, it's one guy. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a hireling of House Orient.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. He's actually from the other game. He was a guide from the other game.
I'm just picturing this really depressed postal worker named, I don't know, like Greg, and he's just like, gotta go through the portal again through the STEMI plane. Gets really creepy on the way back. It's once a month.
Yeah.
The benefits are really good.
And there's no one else with him on his way back, so the perfect place it projects is pulled from him every time. So it's It's like
They don't
a
want to go down that road.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's, anyways, but yeah, you guys, in that case, I picked you go and like throw rocks through windows or something at the estate.
I was genuinely considering if she would seek any acts of vengeance. But I don't think so. I think she'd go stay with Purser to be. She might angry rant at Purser for a little bit about what she would think about doing, but then be like, no, I know that is
Wait,
bad.
where did Pick go? Why is the manor on? Why is she firebombing it?
Just standing outside with the
Why is there
rage
a
of
mob?
1,000.
Why is there a mob like basically Molotov bombing the estates?
That would push some things forward. I will.
Because, like, fuck you, don't touch my head.
Okay.
No, but she's
Yeah.
probably going to stay with Purser because she's like, what if she comes to my house?
hmm
Yeah.
Well, my theory is this chick's a threat already. We need to get rid of her.
A what? A Thermeto?
This chick's a
Threat.
Threat already.
A threat.
Threat
We need to get rid
already.
of
We
her.
Sorry,
could poison her. Maybe?
Let's avoid any directly aggressive action until we know what we're dealing with. For all we know, this could be a chamber member. I do not want to anger them.
Oh no!
I don't know what
they
that
gonna
is.
do?
It's for the best. Out of character, it's a secret dragon.
Oh.
Because Ludger's general worries is that now that she knows that she's onto us and the fact that she's demonstrated like a mind fuckery magic, she could very easily start like changing the fucking like
But we
mind
don't know if
fucking
she's
people.
onto us.
Uh,
Because it's normal
Well, I mean-
behavior for Pick.
Yeah, it was like this really inquisitive bug is harassing me.
I'm going to use the flashy thingy memory wipe. It wasn't like she's stalking from any maliciousness. There was no reason for her to think Pick was lying because she wasn't.
Yeah, that's it. Like
That's
yeah, she
the
believed it.
nuclear option to getting annoyed by a person in the street as well. Like that's actual assault.
Casting
on
mass
mending black
Alzheimer's is not
glasses.
good.
I mean, she didn't go the full Will Smith route. Like, she didn't be like, girl, you gotta find yourself a good man, like somebody who's gonna treat you like. She didn't do the suggestion aspect, really.
I mean, you could say the same thing. I didn't use a very big knife when I stabbed that homeless man.
No, I'm not actually like downplaying
yeah.
it. I get it. Like, mind assault is mind assault. That doesn't
Mhm.
make it better. I'm just pointing out, like, it could have been worse, I guess.
Yeah, that's just how Purser is like. This is an assault directly against us.
Oh, it
we
is.
need to know
like,
more. We cannot be alone in case anything else happens.
Yeah.
If
So,
anyone
buddy
says that
system.
she wanted to kill everyone that wasn't her, so that's why we did something. Then
You guys can attack her. I have her statted. But so the 2 days do pass
And go-
without incident. Yeah.
Go poop at her flower beds, but moth poop is actually fertilizer.
Yeah, you can fertilize the flower beds around her place.
No.
Assault her eyes with all the colors.
I will not. Unless she came outside and saw a little moth person squatting in her flowers and she's like, what the fuck? I'd probably get worse than a mind wipe.
Where's Pick? I don't fucking know. Like, what did she was with you?
You talking about pooping on someone's front porch or something? I can't remember.
I mean, hey, there's always a great chance. That's the roll me a die 10, roll me a die 20, roll me a die 12. What am I rolling for? You ain't rolling for anything. You're building character.
Person just like lights a torch and waves it around until she's distracted and comes back.
Yep. Come here.
But yeah, the next 2 days are otherwise uneventful. And the first week of the month, as always, or at least as usual, sees the next batch of colonists arrive from Corvair. But this time, there's more than the 50 or so typical settlers. A group of smartly dressed men and women bearing the House Cannith symbol, not that they use a separate one, but Cannith South, arrive as well, bringing a large amount of gear behind them using floating discs. They're part of the Tinkers Guild, Kenneth's branch that is typically hired to handle engineering and major construction projects. You've seen them here before, as a dozen of them or so helped get the first wave of homes built and up and running. Um, Coming up behind them is a sizable force of soldiers marching smartly in line. Once they're all through, you'd estimate that it's a small size of a small company, somewhere around 120 soldiers. They're all wearing the house Denith Chimera, as a scarred human man comes forward, looking around with a calculating eye. As Captain Raglan and Governess Erthavar come forward to greet him, and the head of the Kenneth group. They chat a bit as the captain has a few of the Mishann militia show the Dragonmark forces to the field of tents that have been set up around the southeastern giant guardhouse, where it seems like they're going to start construction on that and try and turn it into a proper fort for like the actual military of the settlement. Which, yeah, it's technically so. I might as well explain for other Sam. When the Drow first arrived here, they arrived very much doing a display of force because they didn't know who these strange foreigners were squatting in ruins that they technically had a claim to. Um, but and the party was a little spooked because there was like 60 or so trained, Drow warriors compared to the, I think, 20 plus forces that Mishann had at its disposal, including like Ludger's irregulars and the like half a dozen barely trained militia and the party itself. So there was some concern that these Drow can dictate things to us because they have more forces. So the party spoke about it with the governess, and she suggested that House Denith, which is they handle bodyguard work and mercenary stuff. They had recruited a fair number of Siren um, vets into the house after the last war, ones who just didn't have anywhere else to go. Suggestion was that since they were hirelings as opposed to proper members of the house, they could put together a unit of just veterans from Sire, hire that unit as like with a generous fee to come here until their contract runs out, at which point they just settle down and become like an actual official military here, um, which seemed like a good solution to it. So right now they're part of House Denith, but or is it Denieth? Is it Denith or Denieth?
Denith.
Denith. Okay, oh, great.
I've heard
Um,
Denaith as well, but
I'll
yeah.
go with the one you say.
All right.
Um,
Denny's.
Tip.
Gotcha.
Mercenaries that will basically are promised a nice home if they stay.
Yeah, like former soldiers turned mercenary, now wanting to turn back soldier slash like settler. So
And most importantly, they're Sirens.
yes, that's kind of the vibe. They're like, we don't want to just hire more mercenaries to come in. Mercenaries to be in charge rarely ends well, even with a house under as many regulations as a Dragonmarked house. Especially since you're outside of the Dragonmarked edicts here, by the way. Uh, in the same way Stormreach is. This is not Corover. The edicts don't necessarily apply. But regardless, the they're going to head to work and set up a sort of a tent city for the soldiers to stay in until the fort is finished, which will take some time. Right. But seeing that, let's see here. Yeah, as the new settlers leave the area with the portal, meeting their relatives or friends who told them about Mishann, just kind of a at the airport vibe or at like the train station vibe. You see Lady Wayrub moving through the crowd with her usual inhuman grace. She's watching the House Denith forces with a calculating look. And when she gets to you, she says, reinforcements from Sire, yes?
I'll assume she's speaking to someone that can respond.
I assume so, yeah. To the party, whoever's there.
When
I
she
know at
starts
least
talking,
two of you.
Purser like panics and starts casting comprehend languages.
And what language is this in again?
Elvish, yeah. Elvish or Giant, whichever you prefer. She speaks both fluently.
I guess
She's trying to
later.
learn
I
Common,
can
but
speak both.
it's still very rough, and she's embarrassed. Like Sulatar culture, I feel like would place a strong emphasis on it's better to not say anything than sound like an ass. So they're trying to learn some Common, but they're reluctant to speak it badly. So until then, they'd rather just not say something.
Yeah, that's fair
Well,
enough.
if I'm there, I can speak both of them. I can be translator.
Cool, cool. Yeah, whoever's there it's whoever wants to be there. I feel like probably Ludger, you came in to see the new things.
I'm still learning the town, so I'm gonna stay back. I'll just be translator.
Yeah, fair enough. But whoever wants to be there. But yeah, she says at verification that they are from Sire. She says, "Well, I hope they're up to the task. These lands are dangerous, even when not making an enemy of the only civilized state. On that note, I had some news passed on from Lord Gwynedd.
Mm.
Even with its departure from the Verwick Pact, Clan Gwynedd hasn't faced the same level of disconnect from Alamcusp as Wayrub and Olenquai, mostly because the city knows that it can't afford to lose any more major clans. One of the most important things about this is that they're still getting news from the network. This 3, maybe 4 potential leverage points have arisen within the Verwick Pact that I think we could work on. The first is within the Ernix clan itself. The clan head, Mesavai Hunsin Ernix, is one of the most powerful spellcasters on the islands, and she usually stays out of inter-clan disputes, but she's offered her clan's full support to anyone who can get her information about the origin of the plague. She doesn't say why, but her tendency to repay any slights is infamous. She lost her daughter and grandson to the plague, and I'd bet she's looking for revenge. Related to that, there was a very brief report of a minor inheritance dispute in the lesser clan of Lemque. If we want Irnik's support, I'd bet we'd need to help them handle whatever's happening within their subordinate clan. To the north,
Sorry, where was the heritage dispute?
okay, here I will go out to. It's easier to go. So this is the Magic Focus clan with the head who's looking for revenge, and she said, and this clan here is under them, and apparently there was a inheritance dispute.
Oh, in Lemek.
Yep, Limerick.
Okay.
To the north, there was a report about the greater clan Pekway trying to address a rebellion from the only lesser clan under its auspices, the Gizbel clan. I can't imagine what would cause those tantrics within Gizbel to rebel, but it's worth a look. So here and here. There was a report about the greater clan Nuxavaro welcoming its flagship, the Ancient's Wrath, back to their clanhold after a successful raid on the peoples of Catan. If we wanted to strike a blow against their clan, whose head is the one behind this expansion madness, we'll need to eventually capture, disable, or destroy the Ancient's Wrath. Losing it would irrevocably damage Verwick's reputation, and more directly, the Nuxavaro would lose about half their fleet strength. These are the guys leading the pact. Their current clan head is Verwick Nuxavaro. I heard, and finally I heard a report that those traitors in the Upami clan were performing the classic killers in Chiton in the capital. If we wanted to undercut the Verwick Pact's most skilled political drivers, we could try to gather enough information about Stirdit, pick some Apame, but I don't know if it's truly possible. When my father was head of Wayrub, he seemed to think that she was involved in some truly foul habits, but he could never prove it. If we could perhaps blackmail her or just get her thrown out. Both options would hurt the pact. This Wayrub originally had two lesser clans under our influence, um, Olenquai and Apami, and Apami resented this, given their former position as lead storytellers.
What is a storyteller? Like, they're record keepers, basically?
In a very poor sense. Wayrub, we study history, we study patterns, we study our people's true history, written without embellishment or flourish, some might say. Apami had a different method of approaching things. They would ensconce things in ballads and such. They're an older clan, but frankly, their usefulness is somewhat limited beyond raw entertainment. Wayrub quickly supplanted them and have been the premier historians and strategists for close to 1,000 years now. Apami never forgave it. It was no surprise when they were glad to turn against us. But any of those options would be valid things to pursue next. There hasn't been a retaliation next, or directly, but I think that's likely because they haven't entirely figured out who Lord Gwynedd recruited in his blow against the head of Biapo. Once they do, there will be some retaliation. I don't know what yet.
In this case, I would pipe in like, do you think this first blow would be military or covert?
It would depend on who struck it. Whichever clan felt they could gain prestige. Alamcusp itself can't afford it because, frankly, the holy legions that they could send out are already so undermanned. They could defend the city quite capably, but sending them out on an assault unsupported would be disastrous. It would, as I said, it would depend largely on which clan. The Nuxavaro would certainly do a frontal assault, probably likely from the bay. Ernix would probably send some type of monster, something it would summon. Apame or Pirin both would do something covert, something either schemes within schemes in Apame's case, or something just unpleasant and hidden in Eberron's case.
Investigating the plague may be the most prudent option for us. It would earn us a true ally, I think, and I'm baffled that we were so lucky in our timing as to be unaffected by it. If we'd come a year sooner, it would have struck us as well.
I doubt it. It only seemed to affect the Drow. She was about to say something else and then glanced at Pick and corrected herself.
I was saying that in common, though.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Then she doesn't.
Always
doesn't have
assume that I'm only speaking in common.
an
I
That's
am
fair.
just a poor monolingual boy.
Thinking about it, Ludger would also agree with going to Ernex first, as that way we may appear to be peacemakers, or at least still diplomatically minded. So therefore, hopefully that buys us some time, because if we begin this with outright covert or military action, it'll be easier for them to rally and counterattack. Whereas in gaining some allies, or a diplomatic or fact-finding mission may be more suitable to maintaining the fragile state of the calm before the storm, and perhaps dissuade a immediate counterassault. For if we do an outright attack or an outright covert assassination, there increases the possibility that they will immediately use it as justification for their own counterattack.
And in the case of the plague, it may be a solution we can find before even setting foot in their territory. Pick's own questions are
You've gotten some
investigating the
leads.
plague as well.
Yes, I would like to pursue that one the most.
Like I would prefer not to rely on the whims of the Sulatar as much as we can. But if we can bring a solution in hand for the leader of a city, that's an incredible peace offering.
Yeah. So it's Bemi, Balthazar. Either of you have other opinions? Similar opinions? Any opinions?
Kind of still learning the ropes. It's my first actual.
It's a lot of words. It's a lot of very foreign. Like I have a generator for this. Like it's you. I think it's like Sky something, and you type in like a normal an English word, and it translates it into appropriate sounding gibberish like Old Giant or Arnie Elvish, or like it's really fucking useful. But
That is
it
cool.
does make, yeah, I'll send it to you. It does
Cool.
make hard to pronounce things. And yeah, this is a lot of political stuff. I was just checking to see if you had any opinion on it. Bemi?
I'm probably gonna go fishing.
Outside
Live the
of that,
dream.
is Bemi gonna fish through the rest of the adventure? Like, I'm good. That was
I
neat
mean,
and
I
all.
don't know. Yeah. I can't think of any opinions to add
Okay,
at this particular
that
point
is
in
no
time.
problem.
I really can't.
That is no problem. Okay, so sounds like
I'll also add. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
This is the only not offensive one where we're not interfering in local politics.
Yeah.
And I definitely like to avoid antagonizing when we can as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to, but
not a great starting. Like, you kind of already made a pretty aggressive starting move. Like, I get not wanting to like go ham from that point on. So,
right. And
I'm
we're
just
their new
saying.
neighbors. We made a show of strength, and now it's time to talk and let them know that we are good neighbors to have.
yeah.
I'm just saying, Ludger did appropriate steps for a Black Ops operation, did not tie to the party.
So did Bemi. Bemi was posing as a drow. I remember.
I said a
Not
mask
wrong.
on, and now it's gone.
Yeah. See, and his mask is in the hands of a random of a like wandering tribe to the south. That's like if they ever go looking for it, they're like,
I
hey,
was gonna
it
say,
must have been justified
oh,
paranoia.
That's a
oh
son of a
no.
bitch!
Oh no! I just realized it. Oh fuck!
that PC. Hey, let's go do business in Biapa. I've heard that there's work there. Shows up
Mhm.
It's him! Get him!
What did I do? Uh, but okay. So yeah, in that case, she's now okay. Once again, question: who, if anyone, do you want with you guys? Like, you could easily pilot the ship yourself. You could bring allies. You could bring an army if you wanted.
Well, I think that depends on what Pick's leads are. Like, where are we actually going?
Honestly, she has not gotten much.
Okay.
Like, she's
He-
asked about it everywhere, and people are like, he went to these places, we got that cup, and
You got some info, but you don't have a. It's this dude. Like, you have a lot of clues, but no mystery mask reveal yet. No Scooby Doo reveal.
So it was like it's not a Corvarin, right? It's a mainland Zendricker. Or as far as
That's what
anyone
the
knows.
person was posing as. Yeah, like it's
Right.
the person was posing as a mainland person from Zendrick. For like when they were in the south, they posed as someone from the Scorpion tribes on the mainland, and when they were in the north, they posed as a priest from one of the city states on the mainland. So they changed the look in both places.
Did
Whoever it was.
Stormreach have any problems with the plague that we know of?
Not that you know of, which is odd. Um, in fact, it didn't even spread to the other islands, or like in this island chain.
Hmm.
Not there aren't a lot of drow on those islands, but there are some isolated little communities. Um, it's like it just hit the main island, or like the largest one.
Right.
The
Yeah,
whole
I'm just thinking
circumstance
of
is
like the
very odd.
kind of things it could be. Like a really pessimistic view is that it was some Siren doing poison, like plague blankets before the colony arrives,
Right?
which would be
And
a
that's possible.
fantastic play, but
It would be, but it's one of those things like this happened just before um, Prince Orgev like even started pushing for the idea,
right.
which the
So yeah,
timing is weird. So,
and it's before we let out whatever that demon was. So
well,
like,
well before.
yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of nasty stuff in Zendrick, but
There are.
nothing that's obviously like no overlord of plagues under the island or anything.
The only overlord tied to that is kind of well, as dead as an overlord can be. The dragons fucked it up when it went to Argonis, and
Yeah.
it's currently a festering wound on Argonis, in that they realize, like, oh wait, wait, did we win this? So, yeah,
Yeah, it's the safest bet is that it's some mortal scheme with mortal conspirators
could be.
specifically targeting Drow for some reason.
Yeah.
And I guess catching the Thri-kreen in the crossfire, because I don't think they care about the Thri-kreen, but it's not like they're going to go out of their way to kill a bunch of the Moth people. They don't. No offense, Pick, but the Moth people don't really do anything.
we
They
do
do a
work with the
lot.
dead.
Right,
They
right.
do a
but
lot, but yeah,
We
that's
do
my
many
out of
things,
character
but not violent
perspective.
things.
Yeah,
they wouldn't
but
have been in the way of a colonizing force or whatever.
exactly.
More
And
bodies for Swamp.
yeah, exactly. And it, like I said, it just explicitly hit Drow. It didn't hit the Thri-kreen. It didn't hit anything else.
Do we know if he hit the Umbragen?
Those from those are a mainland group, as far as I know. Um, and so presumably not, but maybe you would
I'm
need
not even
to
sure if
find out.
Purser would know about them,
Did
but
does Pick know?
No.
Okay.
They're a
Are the-
mainland group of like rare Drow.
Okay.
they're closer to
uh,
like the traditional Underdark Drow.
Yeah.
and the ultimate plot twist, it could actually be a Fry Queen plot of gathering all the bodies for the special fruit trees.
I'm gonna spoil here and say no, it's not. It's not a Thri-kreen plot.
Like the-
That would be hilarious. Like, man,
We
they
only
did
live
target
30
Franklin
years.
because they don't do anything. Meanwhile, the Franklin conspiracy.
Yeah,
They're like,
sat
well,
and
we
looked
take
upon
all
a
your
grateful
years.
universe.
Yeah. We
peopling
take
their
all your
hands. Yeah.
years.
That moment
Excellent.
where, like, 5 levels from now, we find out that Pick was actually a secret villain PC.
The
The whole time.
whole time, yeah. I wouldn't do that to other
We-
Sam again. That'd be too mean.
Again.
To be fair,
When was the last
Uh,
time you did that? I don't remember.
When I was playing
Oh, Gerbo. I remember now.
Gerbil Smeckle the Third. Anyways,
we don't have any like outside
You
perspective
took
of
advantage of
who
my
it could
young
obviously be.
naivety.
So
I'm sorry, I didn't
maybe
catch the tail end. What were you saying, Dan?
sorry, I think we both talked at the same time.
Yeah.
So we don't have any obvious outside perspective of what it could be. So I guess maybe we do go there and investigate with our
I mean-
superior civilized investigative means.
Right, yeah. Saviors almost. Okay, yes. Sure. I mean, if nothing else, if she doesn't have all that info, like even if you don't have an answer, more info is probably a good thing.
Right.
And
And
to
we don't have
answer,
to like promise anything either. We can just go like, "Hey, we're looking into this. What do you know?"
exactly.
I mean,
And to
Pick
answer your
desperately wants
question,
these answers too. It means she gets a lot of dead.
Right.
to answer your question, other Sam, yes, I was taking advantage of you in your naive young state. All right, so
Thank you.
So
appreciate it.
yeah, it sounds like the plan is to head to Irnix Bay. Now the question is, how do you want to get there? I would assume you'd want to take the river, but either way is going to involve some overland. You could go around the island, you could take the river, you could walk if you wanted. How do you want to do it?
I'd be okay with the river.
It does seem
River's
to be
good.
the fastest.
Now that being said,
Mhm.
do we do this right now? Because we do have another at-home problem.
That's true.
What is it?
The like
lady-
imposter
Yeah,
noblewoman
the-
who erased Pick's memories.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah,
You know what? We could help them out, and then the Drows can help us. We gotta get rid of her.
well, do you know what it looks like if we like get a bunch of like natives to come in and
Help you kill
execute
the-
people that we don't like?
especially the ones who are leading a nativist movement or leading
Alright.
a colonist movement.
Person,
That
I
would
think
look funny.
I think you're right. Let's stay and take care of that issue first.
Okay.
Yeah,
You could do that.
I think it'd be smartest.
I'm just saying,
I'm
like, we
fine with that.
shouldn't spend all of our time traipsing about the jungle. I could stay here with my bath.
He's desperately hoping no one remembers that he can bring it with him.
Yeah, it's all jokes aside, like, it is a serious thing to at least be aware of.
I'm really cool with, like, all of the options I presented with you are valid, and if you want to come up with your own, I would love it.
Can you put the list in our chat so that we can go back through and know that we have a bullet points to
can.
check off?
Yes, yes.
That would be really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I was taking some notes, but I think I missed some names.
I'm not as fast in the names. I know I'm spelling in a horrifically bad way.
And it helps that I'm pronouncing in a horrific way. So it's like, tin can telephone game. Okay, let's see here. So,
AFK 1 second.
okay, so Ernix clan.
And on the corollary to my immediately previous suggestion, we may just have to wait until she makes another mistake. But devil's advocate to that, maybe us being gone lets her make more moves.
Well, we could give it a week.
I could work with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and given how relatively slow things in Drow society move, a week probably is a good amount of time to wait without, like, dramatically risking losing the initiative.
Hmm. That also gives us some more time to be here protecting the colony while, like, Caneth finishes the defenses and stuff.
And you get to have your bath.
I could try to follow her again, and then you could watch and see if she does it to me again.
I think that would be overplaying our hand. We just need to keep our eyes open.
Okay.
If she makes any more aggressive moves in this xenophobic position, it's just terribly unfortunate that she got your memories. Like, you must have seen where she went.
Probably just went
Wait.
home. I'm gonna just spoil here. She just turned around and walked
Right,
home.
but Purser is like going down this rabbit hole of like Pick saw the whole thing. Like there must have been some like there was like a secret handoff in the alley or something, and then Pick was seen.
Oh, I get you. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair because you
Yeah.
don't know exactly why this happened. You don't know it was like, I'm not leaving till you tell me. Okay.
Yeah,
You don't know it was.
but like it's exactly it. Like no reasonable person would immediately jump to that nuclear option. Pick had to have seen something like
Yeah.
super important.
Yeah. Hey, that works for me.
And it really was just this lady, like, God damn it, go away.
But that could be the misstep. Like it's the one piece that pulls the entire conspiracy loose.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't super suspicious of her until that.
Until someone casts modify memory casually. Yeah.
Like it's a 5th level spell. Like
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
tracking.
count like
What
Purser's-
sort of lunatic uses their best spells first?
Yeah, best spells.
it's just yeah, Purser's just going down the conspiracy rabbit hole on her and is just really concerned that if we leave her alone and uncontested, she might try and pull something.
But also, it
That's
is
fair.
maybe better if we leave her alone because then maybe she won't know anything. Because I don't know if she talked to me, but maybe she will just think I was weird and not that anyone was doing anything.
That'd
Maybe.
be a reach there, Pick. I don't like. I don't know. I don't know if any of these people would dare think Pick's weird.
Many of these people think I am weird. I think you are all weird.
This is voice of God. You don't have to answer me.
I think Bemi's right. We should at least stay a few days, give the Caneth people some time to finish the fortifications, keep an eye on Lady Saavedra, and then depart. It will give us some time to recuperate and restock as well for another harrowing journey.
I go get the stuff from my house to stay at your house.
Yes. And remember, stay together. No one goes alone. We don't know what she knows.
Man, all right. I guess
Baby, you want to stay too?
I guess I'm not going fishing.
We could go fishing.
Sleep.
Yeah, everybody together?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Looks at
Everybody
Purser with
stays
big
together.
eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, we fish.
We go fishing.
You cannot stay at your house by yourself. You stay with Purser or Ludger?
I mean,
Demi like literally built the house like over a mile away. He's like, I never have to deal with drama that they have. You gotta move in with us, Bemi. There's terrible things happening.
it's
Oh God, Purser in his pristine house, and then he has Bemi and Pick staying there. My house is full of natives.
I mean, he can just recast it to clean it.
why don't you just cast it next door to my house?
That's actually a valid
also
thing.
reasonable, yes.
Then 2 houses. This will be fun. We should make bridge. between both, like home.
Ewok
I'm not-
Village.
I'm not sure if my tower's tall enough to reach the top of a tree. Like, how high up is Bemmy's place?
Pretty high, like
Yeah.
big jungle tree. He went with the top. Like, I don't remember the
Yeah, mine's
exact
like-
height, but
Mine's 20 feet tall.
oh yeah, it definitely dwarfs that. All right.
Yeah, Baltazar is the only one of us that can be trusted going out alone with his protective ring.
Indeed.
Talking to the person inside of it.
You should
Indeed.
still stay with someone else. Or together. No, Ludger must live with family. He has small people.
Mm. Die small people.
Yeah,
Pick would
especially
like
since
to meet his
Ludger,
small people.
Ludger is a bit worried about if he's away that his family might get targeted. So
Yep.
I'm
Well,
sure Pick would like human children.
if everybody's got to stay together, then maybe we should cast your tower over at put your tower by Luger's house.
Perhaps.
It's fine. I don't have to sleep in my tree. Although it is nice.
It's fine, but we just don't be alone. Maybe Pick could stay in your house with you, while the rest of us stay together.
Yeah?
I, you know this scene in Ace Ventura where in the second movie where he goes into the trophy, the hunting trophy room, and it's just sees all the animal heads mounted on the walls and starts screaming.
What a
I
fantastic roll of death.
I'm wondering if Pick would have the same reaction because Bemmy's is the only house that comes with a pre-built bonus, and it's literally it's trophy room. So Bemmy's got trophies of kills of various things of his choice, from a specific
that
kind of creature.
I don't think that would be weird for her, considering her people are probably going to
Oh yeah, you
core
guys
out her
absolutely are
own body.
hunters. Yeah.
Yeah, we're hunters and we decorate with our own dead bodies. So
Yeah,
she's probably just he's honoring his hunt by decorating with it.
Oh yeah,
wait.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, no, that's perfect. Be like, you want to come see my collection of dinosaurs?
You have
Fuck yeah, I do.
dinosaurs?
Yeah, I have
Fuck yeah.
dinosaurs.
Go
She'd
see-
think it was
go
so
see-
fucking cool.
best friends.
Did we just
Go
become
see,
best
go
friends?
see,
You want to go
see
to
that.
karate in the garage?
go see Damon's bug collection.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But
She would go do karate in the garage, especially since he's taking rogue levels now. We could do karate in the garage.
Do karate in the garage.
But I'm the monk.
You could come do karate in the garage too. You're just going to be better at it than us.
That's true. There's no skill level required. But yeah, so
But there was no mercy within this dojo.
Oh no!
we
Just
we have the options that you guys have found or come up with, the 4 plus certain sus elements, and if you guys want to add any other stuff, feel free to. But that's the list of various names and whatnot.
How long do we expect Kenneth to take?
I'm sorry, I heard
To-
Kenneth.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
to
how
House
long do
Kenneth.
we expect him to take
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
fortifications?
Oh, 1 sec. It's gonna be a while. Let me look it up here. They're building a. Have it here. Let's see, I think I actually wrote it down. Okay. Okay. Stations. Rest. I think that one is. It's going to take. Oh, half a year. That's gonna take months. So yeah, that's you're good, dude. You don't have to worry about that. Nothing's gonna happen immediately in that. That's gonna take, I think, 120 days. I've written down. Let's see, where is
Okay.
that? Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we'll stay here an extra week, keep an eye on Saavedra, and then depart for Aeronox. Just head down the river, I think.
Okay, cool.
And we're probably at the point in the population where we can have an at least a small crew to like help run the ship and keep an eye on it while we're not directly on board.
Yeah, you definitely could. Yeah, I think with the next 50, it gets up to, and with the lizard folk and the drow, let's see, it was about 200 to 400. Which one? I think you're pushing 500. You're getting pretty close to pretty sizable here.
So yeah, I think even just like 5 to 10 men just to
Yeah,
keep everything running. I don't
absolutely.
know. Also, on that note of business, how do you want to handle doing the like curio sales I mentioned? Because like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
we've got a bunch of random giantess junk. We have 373.8 gold worth of giant coins.
Mhm.
A giant spell shard with poetry, a giant crystal ball, and a giant shift weave that
Uh,
none of it anyone can use. And I think the best thing we could do with it is sell it to a curio collector.
okay, okay.
So
The
I was
coins,
curious.
I'm just gonna say you can just do straight one-to-one conversion. No problem. Because it's gold and silver, the value stays.
Mhm.
You could gain more by doing a persuasion check, I guess. At Nat's shop, she might give you a little extra. The coinage is fairly it's fairly simple to transfer. As
Mhm.
far as the curios, if you're doing the send away to Sharn, um, that's gonna automatically you are gonna get a little bit more. Um, I don't know how much more, but possibly up to possibly up to like double the initial value for those things. Because like I
I know
said, it's
Xanathar's is 150%, and
yeah.
like
I mean,
one of them is a magic item, so could even
yeah.
be the
Hey,
same downtime
I'm
activity.
fine with that. I'm fine with that ruling. Because like I said, that's going, especially Morgrave University. Like they'd be. I
Hmm.
mean, you could almost have a bidding war over some of the shit. Like especially like the list of different burial rites for the within the within the I guess the 12 city states. I forget the name of it, but within like the one giant city state group. Um, yeah, you have some big deal stuff there as far as academic research.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could definitely, if you can get it to the right buyer, it's like how everything, yeah, group of 11. There we go. I don't remember it. Everything is
Mm.
valuable if you get it to the right person. So you could
Yeah.
definitely get that 150% no problem from them. It's just going to take like 2 months
Hmm.
for you to get the money. But if you're
Yeah.
willing to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely willing to, and I'll even keep track of it.
Yeah, just put a list and I will like feed that in and make sure you get the adequate fundage
Hmm.
back.
And
Um,
then we'll divvy that up, and I'll be able to cast spells again.
Pick
I
just
mean,
donates hers to the party fund.
uh, I mean, and like I said, for pick everybody who has a little standard home that isn't like a hunting cabin. Don't forget, you have optional add-ons. I don't know if you can afford them yet, but I would start thinking about it because like there are mechanical benefits and there's like, if you decide to build a bath at the, built into your house, like there's a thing for that. You want to really hook it into the sewer system proper. There's a benefit to that. Like it's weird, but there are tangible benefits. So if not, then you just get the standard, it's a good place to rest your head along with X number of other people. But anyways, so it sounds like your plan is to go upriver once again, and just pretty much go right past Gwenedkul again, go right past Pikirkul, and instead of at this fork, instead of going here towards Spiapokul, you would just go north, like along here, as far as the river will get you, and then you'd have to start on foot from there for the 40 plus 45 miles or so to Irnixkul. Less so if you go to Pivirkul and go from there. But about a 2-day trek across through the jungle with a possible rest in the middle. Well, with a necessary rest, but like possible civilized rest. Does that sound like the route you're planning?
Sounds reasonable to me.
I'm into it.
I think the final vote really goes down to our woodsman.
That is true. Bemi, does that sound like a viable route?
Yep.
Cool,
It
cool.
does.
All right. Well,
Per-
I have my prepping orders here, and I will get on that as the DM. And if Dan, if you want to get revenge by changing your mind last minute, I won't hold it against you.
I have the power now.
Yeah. For reference, the Dark Sun group decided to do something incredibly risky with me fully on board, and then I had a week of crazy at work hours to think about how suicidally stupid it was, and I had changed my mind.
It's like the 4th time you guys have done this.
I know you posted somewhere where that stuff for the houses was, and
It is in
It's an Eberron
Eberron
resources.
Resources, and there's a single link to my Google Drive, and the description of each of those things, like what each little thing is in the like long ass post. Specifically, base building stuff is near the bottom. You just scroll to the bottom, and I have base building. There's a little blurb where I explain it, and then there's fortresses, temples, and strongholds. So yeah, just click the Google Drive link, and
I don't know if. Oh, okay, no, I got it.
which
Boom.
actually, so before I definitely don't advocate anything like piracy, I'm gonna
Mhm.
probably turn off recording if that's it for this week. Yeah, cool.